California's only pro football franchise in San Diego. So the Chargers will go for another win today against the incoming Cincinnati Bengals. A week ago, the temperature on the field was near 100. Today, it approaches that once again. As the off-field temperature is 90 degrees, a light breeze out of the southwest. Another clear and beautiful day before a packed house in San Diego as the Chargers try to get to 2-0. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley, along with the fabulous Bobby G, Bob Golick. Opposite starting performances a week ago. The Chargers were immaculate. The Bengals, disastrous.
No, you're exactly right. The Chargers came out of the blocks excellent. Stan Humphries led that team all over the field. The Bengals, on the other hand, by their own admission, played well for a while, but caused their own demise with mistakes, penalties, turnovers.
Felt they should have won the game against the Rams. One thing that won the game for the Chargers against the Seahawks, running back by committee in the absence of Natron Means.
Exactly. They started the game out with the bruiser. Leonard Russell attacked that Seahawk defense, got them on their heels down in the trenches. Once they settled in, they threw Terrell Fletcher and Aaron Hayden at them. These guys could bounce it outside, slash back inside, and that defense of the Seahawks never really regained their composure.
Amid all that, the winning competence of Stan Humphries.
Without a doubt. You know, this is a guy in Stan Humphries that may not have all the statistical numbers that you see in these quarterbacks, but take a look at these numbers. This is pretty nice company that he's in here, and number 3 on the list in winning percent of inactive quarterbacks.
And if Humphries isn't spectacular, his opposite number for Cincinnati, Jeff Blake, most certainly is.
Yeah, the guy's amazing. We all know what he can do with the long ball, with that rainbow throw that he throws downfield. Spent a lot of time with Kenny Anderson in the offseason working on the short game. Supposedly, he's even better.
But while Humphries is supported by a more than competent running game, last week, the Bengals were a disaster on the ground against the Rams.
Right, their number 1 draft choice, Kajana Carter, not living up to expectations. A couple weeks ago, they bring in Garrison Hurst, waived by Arizona. $2 million back as a backup. A lot of fans wondering what's going on.
We'll see what the Bengals do on offense when we come back and kick it off. Bengals against the Chargers in San Diego, coming up right after these messages. A look at downtown San Diego on homecoming day for former San Diego State Aztec Darnay Scott, second-year wide receiver for the Bengals, who was, in his college days in this same stadium, the all-time leading pass-receiving yardage gainer in the history of San Diego State's receiving corps. He played with Marshall Faulk, and together they gained more yards rushing and receiving than any duo in NCAA history. We spent some time with Darnay yesterday. Mr. Loose and Comfortable, Bob.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he is very loose, very relaxed, very loose. And you know what, I'll tell you guys a secret if you don't tell anybody. He runs about a 4.2 in the 40-yard dash. He doesn't want any of the DBs to know about this so he can fool them. So don't tell anybody, okay?
And how tough is it to deal with Scott when on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage you've got Carl Pickens, who caught 99 balls a year ago to lead the AFC. That's the explosiveness of the Bengals, who will receive the opening kickoff as John Carney, who had 5 field goals a week ago in the winning effort against the Seahawks, prepares to kick it off. Deep to receive, Corey Sawyer, number 23, David Dunn, number 80. Dunn had a costly fumble a week ago in St. Louis. Kick comes to Dunn at the goal line. Hit at the 15 and knocked down at the 17-yard line. Great special teams coverage downfield for the Chargers, as number 52, Dwayne Gordon, reserve inside linebacker, was the first to get there. And on comes Jeff Blake to lead the Bengals. And quickly a look at the Bengal offensive unit. This is the offensive line that was ruptured so badly by the Rams today. Scott Brumfield brings some experience to the guard position, but they are still woefully inexperienced on the offensive front. Kijana at tailback, Cochran at fullback, the 2 great wide receivers, Pickens and Scott. Tony McGee is a downfield threat at tight end for Blake. Blake making his 27th consecutive start since taking over the quarterback gig, and Kijana Carter gets off to an immensely better start this week than was the case a week ago. Dwayne Harper had the tackle.
You're right. You're talking about right now he's at 5 yards per carry. Last week, 1 yard per carry. A long game ahead of him here, but it's a good way to start.
And San Diego's defense, excellent against the running game of Seattle a week ago. Sean Lee and Ruben Davis in the middle. As good a pair of run-stopping defensive tackles as you'll find. Junior Seau freelanced a lot last week and had the Chargers only sack. The secondary, particularly safety Rodney Harrison, had a tremendous game. On second down, Blake's throw for Pickens is low, out of reach. Harper was there to defend.
And it didn't also look like Pick was actually waiting for or anticipating it at that point. He was starting to make it down. I don't think he expected the ball to be thrown to him. You know, one of the things we're seeing, Jim, right away, too, is that they're trying to get away from the middle of the field. We talked about the youth of the offensive line. Look at it right there. You're seeing he's not really prepared, wasn't in position. They've got a young offensive line. This hard infield, the dirt area, is very hard to get a drive on.
36 football at the 21. Need to get it to the 27 for a first down. Carter comes out of the backfield. Blake with the rifle shot, complete to Pickens, has the first down. Terrence Shaw making the stop for San Diego. A week ago, 5 of Pickens' 6 catches came on third down.
Look at it, and they're coming up, and they figure, we're going to take these guys at the line of scrimmage. Trying to make a move, Terrence Shaw trying to hit him, but Carl Pickens is a guy that knows how to work just a little bit, just enough room to get himself open for the completion.
99 catches, as we told you a year ago. This year, 7 catches, 6 of them already on third down. He is Jeff Blake's go-to guy, regardless of the brilliance and the speed of Darnay Scott on the other flank. The give, the fake to Carter, and down the middle. The throw is in and out of the hands of Pickens. A free ball almost picked off by number 36, Kevin Ross. 37, Rodney Harrison, was also there to defend.
Real nice, first of all, real nice play action up front. Froze some of the linebackers, so it gave him some room. But, you know, they got him in a zone. See the linebackers. They come up. They play the fake. Here's the throw. You don't see this normally from Carl Pickens. He is a sure-handed guy. He's not the speed guy, but he's the guy that when you throw it to him, he's going to make the catch 9 times out of 10.
He saw Rodney Harrison angling toward him for the hit, and that may have distracted him just enough. Second down 10. And this time the give is to Kijana Carter. And Carter is met at the line of scrimmage. Kurt Gavea, the run-stopping linebacker there, along with Marco Coleman and Lou Bush.
And I'll tell you what, first of all, one of the guys you're going to see a lot today, we talk about Junior Seau, but you're also going to see Kurt Gavea. He's a big part, especially when you've got a guy like Garrison Hurst and Kijana Carter running. Kurt Gavea brought in to hold down the middle is a guy that Junior Seau just raves about.
Rayleigh Johnson and John Perella, couple of extra defensive linemen in the football game now on third down 10. Blake under pressure, gets away from Sean Lee, drops the football off to Carter, and Carter has first down yardage out to midfield before Kevin Ross gets there to knock him out of bounds. A 19-yard pickup on the 6th catch of the season for Carter. It was Sean Lee who almost got to Blake but couldn't wrap him up.
Nice job. You're going to see Junior Seau blitzed. Sean Lee's looped around behind him and came free. But for a young guy, Jeff Blake, very aware. Knows he doesn't have to run far. Just sidesteps enough to get himself a little room. Finds a safety valve there in Kijana Carter. And Carter, once out in the open, hey, not a hard run. Yeah, it was a screen pass set up. The lineman got out there, but the running back, Kijana Carter, kind of getting caught up in the mix, and I don't think Jeff Blake had an opportunity to really get a look at him.
David Shula along the sideline. Bengal coach in his 5th year, and seen by most in Cincinnati as being under some pressure to produce in 1996. Second down 10. Blake looks downfield first, then throws and misses in the flat. Wayne Harper there to defend against Pickens. Sean Lee with pressure again against Blake.
Yeah, I tell you what, Carl Pickens is a guy that draws a lot of attention because of what he does with the ball. He's going to, you see, they're all moved up on him. Terrence Shaw moves up, jamming these guys at the line of scrimmage, but Junior Seau coming over to help out on this play. Shaw and Seau right there to make the play on Pickens.
5 defensive backs in the game for the Chargers. Third down 10, football at the 48. Motion behind Blake. He throws back to the middle of the field. It's almost picked off. And Kevin Ross, who didn't get a lot of chances at the football last week, has already been involved in 3 plays here today.
But one of the things he doesn't like about the scenario here is he's a safety. He's an ex-corner who likes the challenge of playing coverage, playing safety now with San Diego. Because of the passing attack of the Bengals, he will be able to get up, move up on the slots, and play some coverage, which is going to make him very happy today.
Lee Johnson on to kick it away for the Bengals. 39.7-yard average last week. This one bounces to the goal line and goes out of bounds at the 2.5-yard line. So a tremendous angled kick of 49 yards by Lee Johnson. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Back to San Diego, where the San Diego Chargers start their first possession of the day versus the Bengals at the 3-yard line. Leonard Russell starts the day at tailback for San Diego, takes the football and pounds forward for a gain of about 3. It will be 2nd down 7. Quickly a look at the offensive personnel for the Chargers as Dan Wilkinson makes the stop for Cincinnati. Harry Swain, Eric Moten back in the starting lineup at guard today. Tony Birdie, who did a tremendous job a week ago against Cortez Kennedy, will rotate at both tackle and guard on the left side. Russell starts at tailback. You know he'll be followed by Terrell Fletcher and Aaron Hayden. Tony Martin, not doubled a week ago against the Seahawks, came up with 7 catches. 2nd down 7. Papunu in motion behind Humphries. And Humphries completes it downfield. Tony Martin, rapidly becoming one of the premier possession receivers in the NFL, makes the catch for 10 yards and a San Diego 1st down.
And easy enough, he did the short roll out to the right-hand side. He had a linebacker underneath. He had Bracey Walker deep, but nobody on Tony Martin in any room to make a reaction, to make a plan. Look at all the room he's got there on the sideline. He had that for about 5 seconds, and beautiful hands and concentration and keeping the feet in.
Martin, the former college quarterback from Mesa College in Arizona. Leonard Russell gets the call on 1st down and moves the football out close to the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the Bengal defense. Steve Tovar and Gerald Dixon making the stop on that play. The big key to the Bengals this year defensively, Dan Wilkinson coming into his own at defensive tackle. This week they are missing former #1 draft choice John Copeland at defensive end, so they're a little thinner along the defensive line. Tovar and Francis Head, a good linebacking core. Ashley Ambrose coming over from the Colts, made a big impact at cornerback a week ago. 3 free agents brought in to shore up the secondary for Cincinnati. Humphries' throw is downfield and behind Tony Martin. So the incomplete pass will lead to 3rd down, 9 yards to go. Football at the 17, San Diego.
Yeah, Stan Humphries at that time, they ran a play action, but you could tell right from the beginning he had his eyes set on Martin. Ashley Ambrose, who had a great game last week, had an interception. They're saying should have had a couple of more, covering him very closely.
Terrell Fletcher enters the game at tailback on 3rd down. Charlie Jones comes in as a 3rd wide receiver along with the starters Coleman and Martin. Jones is number 17. 5 defensive backs in the game and a blitz coming for Cincinnati. Humphries gets rid of the ball against the blitz, but had no chance to complete it to the intended receiver Fletcher. It'll be 4th down and a punting situation for Darren Bennett and the Chargers.
Now, you saw a lot of blitzing last week with Cincinnati. They brought the linebackers quite a bit to disrupt things. Also, they like to bring Corey Sawyer. He is a guy that is very good at blitzing, that time getting into the face of Stan Humphries.
44.7 a year ago for Bennett, 43.7 last week against the Seattle Seahawks. Pro Bowl punter hits another skyrocket. It chases Corey Sawyer back to the 20. He has to let it go. A huge field position reversal off of the 66-yard Darren Bennett punt. How good is the guy from down under? San Diego pins Cincinnati inside its own 20. It's 0-0, and we'll be back. We bring you back to San Diego with a look at the dangerous Jeff Blake of the Bengals. Yesterday, Bob, we asked San Diego coach Bobby Ross, did he want to hem Jeff Blake in and keep him in the pocket, or did he want to apply pressure and force him out of there? And he said, well, you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, but probably better to keep him inside the pocket.
Better to keep him in the pocket, and especially when you have some great, big, strong push guys on the inside that can get in his face and take his vision away.
1st and 10 from the 17-yard line. Pitch to Kijana Carter, and Kijana cuts through the hole. Bounded to the turf by Kevin Ross, who again is around the football, but picked up a 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 with the football across the 20 to about the 23.
Junior Seau trying to make a move. You see him right there. Watch him as he comes up. He picks the wrong hole and trying to attack, gets caught behind the lineman, just giving Kajana Carter the room to run. And you said that Kevin Ross made the hit. I think Kajana had a little to do with that hit too.
Kajana Carter much more assertive looking early here than was the case a week ago in St. Louis. Gets outside now and runs for 1st down yardage across the 30. Rodney Harrison making the stop, but a 9-yard pickup and a totally different Kajana Carter.
I'm telling you, Jim, I watched the tape from last week over and over, and when he made his break, when he made his cut, he didn't look like he was accelerating. It was just kind of a halfway cut, make a move, change of direction. Now it looks like when he's making the break, he's accelerating more. He's getting to the outside, and he's turning that corner.
So there's great news early for the Bengals in the rejuvenation, at least for the moment, of Kajana, last year's overall #1 in the draft. And Blake on the hard count draws Sean Lee off. Let's see which way the flag goes.
Well, you know, like we said, we've got a tool like Jeff Blake back there. You want to get off quick up inside.
Dick Antak.
Number 98 in the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to move. 5-yard, still 1st down.
Well, the reality there, normally if the defensive player jumps, the offensive guy reacts, and if the defensive player tries to get back, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt, at least the first time. But this time he went straight in, kind of like Howie Long used to do back in the old days. He would run about 5-7 yards down to the backfield and probably just wait for the whistle to get blown.
On 1st down 5, Blake throws, intended to Pickens. Terrence Shaw is there to get physical with Pickens and force the incompletion.
Well, we know that Pickens is the guy that's got the good hands. This matchup has been there all the game so far. Very close coverage, nice move by Pickens, but great reaction. Look at the comeback. Look at the awareness, the body awareness of Terrence Shaw as he gets back and makes the play right as the ball gets to Carl Pickens.
And if you're going to limit Carl Pickens, you've got to fight for the football, because that is his stock and trade, taking the football away from defenders downfield. 2nd down 5. Chargers showing blitz in the middle with Junior coming. Kajana gets the call, and the run goes for naught as they run right into the teeth of the Charger defense.
Yeah, Kajana's not really, we watched him, they tried to run a lot of inside last week. He's not getting it done inside. This time it's a little more difficult because you've got the blitz of the linebackers plugging up the holes. Every available hole is just filled up right here. And Marco Coleman right in the middle. You see Junior coming in late, but great play up inside.
Reuben Davis was the key to stopping it all up. He's one of the hardest defensive tackles in the league to run against. 3rd down 5. Blake only 2 for 8 at this point. He was close to 70% preseason. Fakes the pitch to Carter, and it is dropped by number 82, the tight end, Tony McGee, and that's an inexcusable droppage by McGee.
You don't normally see that from Tony McGee. Tony McGee was a very good blocker. He's a very good all-around tight end for them, but he is a guy that normally will make the difficult catch. If it's thrown low and away from a defender, if it's thrown high to get him away from a linebacker on coverage, he's able to make that catch. You don't normally see that.
Johnson's first punt for 45-yard pinned the Chargers inside the 5-yard line, but over the long haul, the Chargers would gladly engage in a punting contest between their guy, Darren Bennett, and the veteran Johnson. Here, Darian Gordon takes the football at the 20 and finds a seam for a moment before being belted down by number 89, Marco Battaglia, the rookie tight end out of Rutgers. So Battaglia with a good downfield tackle. Chargers have the football when we come back to the NFL on NBC. We are back in San Diego, where our own Golden Domer, the fabulous Bobby G, still gets a lump in the throat when he sees a promo like that, right?
Yeah, and I got a lump in the throat Thursday night when they had the tough one against Vandy. But Notre Dame, you know, sometimes they play close. The games they should win big. The big games, they always go out there and perform.
Always.
Well, not always.
Terrell Fletcher on 1st down for the Chargers. Gets a gain of a couple at most. It'll be 2nd down 8. Yeah, that was a full second half lump in the throat the other night, huh?
Couldn't watch it, Jim. Had to turn it off. They do have they do seem, the games are supposed to blow people out. A lot of times they play it a lot closer than people would like to see, but they do play some of the strong teams very, very well.
How accommodatingly entertaining out there.
Yes, they are.
Maintain a little competitive suspense for all of our benefit. 2nd down 8, football at the 26. Scoreless first quarter between the Bengals and the Chargers. 7:37 still on the clock. Humphries throws in the flat to Terrell Fletcher. Fletcher sneaks past the first down marker and steps out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. A pickup of 11 before Jimmy Spencer was there to make the play for the Bengals.
Well, first and foremost, the protection was great. Obviously, he didn't hold the ball very long, but he had perfect vision. You're going to watch, you'll see them up front. All the defensive line, they're going to get Artie Smith. You've got Timmy Johnson. They're all jammed, double teamed. Nobody gets into Stan's face. He's got enough room to make the throw. And Terrell Fletcher, a Ronnie Harmon type that does even more.
First down, Humphries throws. Complete to number 83, Andre Coleman. Don't let him into the open field. One of the premier kickoff returners in the NFL is deep into Cincinnati territory on the 32-yard gain. Big downfield block by number 89, Shannon Mitchell.
Boy, I tell you what, he got enough on his own. You'll watch the throw here as they try the deeper slant. They go to make the play, which you do once in a while, but watch coming up right here. Shannon Mitchell with a beautiful block on number 27, Bracy Walker, to pick up an extra 10.
Tremendous play by Mitchell, number 89, who's making his mark as a pass receiver. 2 catches a week ago and a couple of more that were nullified by penalty.
But they were big catches for first down.
Leonard Russell back in the game at tailback, and Russell is snuffed at the line of scrimmage on a good corner tackle by Jimmy Spencer.
Now, won't they take him to the sidelines and say, listen, Leonard, we've got Terrell, we've got Aaron. Those are the guys we want bouncing it outside. We want you to stick it down their throat. The hard thing here, though, and anybody who's played on the hard infield dirt knows that for an offense to get the footing and to get the forward drive, it's very difficult. That's why a lot of times you'll try and get to the perimeter in this area.
Russell still in the game at tailback on 2nd down short. The throw from Humphries to Tony Martin, and Martin shows his capacity to hold on under pressure from Ashley Ambrose.
You're exactly right, and this is, once again, Ashley Ambrose with a late check into zone, but look at the reaction time. Martin, concentration, the hands, amazing. That's what makes him the great receiver he is.
Accurate throw by Humphries, too.
Without a doubt.
Right on the spot.
Without a doubt, but as a receiver, so many guys that can go out there and catch that pass, but with the receiver, with the defender that close, not many are going to hold on like Tony Martin did.
Double tight ends in the game in front of Russell on 3rd down and short, and Russell does his job. The blunderbuss pounding forward for the Chargers inside the 20 to about the 16-yard line, and the crowd rises in appreciation of Bobby Ross football.
See, I told you they were going to make him run inside. Yeah, Alfred Papunu, watch him in motion here, and a lot of times they'll bring him in motion to wham on the inside blockers. Here he's going to come up and he's going to get a nice block on the outside to seal. Look at that, right there, beautiful block on Sam Shade to open that hole for Leonard Russell.
Shade found the sky darkened for the moment by Papunu, so it's 1st down Chargers at the 16. The throw to Coleman, and Coleman, doubled by Spencer and Bo Orlando, holds on to get the football inside the 10.
Now, what do you do as a defensive coach here? I mean, seriously, your defensive backs in Spencer, Ashley Ambrose, you can't really play it any closer without getting a foul. The only thing they can tell them to do is to get a play on the ball. Get the hand in front, try and strip the ball. The defensive play is great, but the ball is perfectly thrown to the receiver.
And Humphries off to a 5 of 7 for 70-yard start. Gives the football to Russell. Russell spins well, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and tries to lean forward for the 1st down. It was a 9-yard gain on the throw on 1st down. James Francis, number 50, with the open field tackle there against Russell.
They are going to try and pound it away with Russell, at least this play, possibly the next, and or start to throw that slant. That little short slant has been so successful for them, Jim. This is a perfect opportunity once again. It hasn't mattered how tightly they've been covered. Stan Humphries is just getting that throw right into place.
Three tight ends now in the game. Mitchell lines up. It's the H-back. They're looking for Russell, and Humphries goes forward on the quarterback sneak instead to pick up the first down and make it 1st and goal, San Diego.
Oh, we watched him do that last week, and he does it the right way. He doesn't sit back and take the snap and looks for a hole. He takes a snap and goes forward and just assumes there's going to be a hole.
Tony Berti and Harry Swain up front, sharing the left tackle position today for the Chargers. Berti's been in and out of the game, play by play, over the course of this series as they give Swain some rest, and so far it's working big time for San Diego. Russell still in the game at tailback on 1st and goal. Papuno in motion. The fake is to Russell, and Humphries throws it out of the end zone as Martin was running across the back line, but Humphries had no time to find him. James Francis was the man who blitzed in to put the pressure on Stan.
And also, I think Ramondo Stallings, who was stepping in for the injured John Copeland, a nice job coming in late, staying at home and keeping his pass lane. A lot of times when you have that play action pass, you get the offensive lineman and the backs going in misdirection. It can confuse you as a rushing lineman. He stayed at home and got a nice hit on Blake, forced the high throw.
11th play of the drive, keyed by the 32-yard pass from Humphries to Leonard Coleman. Or check it, Andre Coleman. This is Leonard Russell with the football. Look at Russell move the pile as he himself falls from the 5 down to the 2.
And a great use of Leonard Russell's power at this point. You see they're kind of going in a full motion. All the linemen are pulling off to the right. They're just stretching that defense down the line. Watch, you'll see Leonard to the left side of your screen there. He's just going to follow till he sees a hole. And then he's just going to turn it up. At that point, the footing of the defensive lineman isn't set, and because of his size, he's going to be able to hit these defenders and pick up a couple extra yards.
12th play upcoming in this drive, longer than any sustained offensive thrust on the part of the Rams last week against the Bengals. The Bengals allowed the Rams only 209 yards total offense and only 2.9 yards per play. And the question coming off of that had to be, were the Bengals that good or were the Rams that bad?
Well, obviously that was the question. But 2.9, regardless of what the answer to that is, it's still a number you kind of use as a springboard, at least, to kind of inspire your team, if anything else. But inspiration is only enough to get you in and get you excited for the game. Once a game starts and they get a 12-play drive on you, nobody's thinking about the 2.9 yards per carry from last week.
A year ago, number 26, Bo Orlando, was starting for the Chargers at safety. He leaves as an unrestricted free agent, goes to Cincinnati to start at safety, has his homecoming to this stadium today, and now gets shaken up as the Chargers try to punch the football in for a TD, and Orlando will go to the sideline.
Where he fits their defense as a kind of a quarterback of the secondary, he did not fit the San Diego defense where they wanted more of a kind of a quicker guy who could pursue.
Tony Berti in at tackle in place of Swain. 3 tight ends in the game as Russell fights his way into the end zone. Well, the one-time star runner of the Patriots was a non-person in Denver a year ago, came here at the minimum salary, and has been given new life by Bobby Ross.
And you watch him run. He didn't really have to bowl anybody over. He got some great blocking up front. And when you talk about the blocking in this team, it's not just the offensive tackles and guards. Those tight ends figure in so dramatically.
Carney, 17 points in the win a week ago, adds his 18th point of the season here. Leonard Russell with the touchdown run, and another look at the Chargers' sea of blockers.
Yeah, Papuno once again sealing off the outside.
San Diego 7, Cincinnati nothing in the first. The NFL on NBC comes back.
This is the NFL on NBC.
Well, a hallmark of Bobby Ross and Bobby Beathard football in San Diego has been ball possession, and here they keep it for 6 minutes en route to a 76-yard touchdown drive.
Nobody would have guessed when Natron Means left. There were so many questions about how could you let somebody who was just developing as a running back, could be the future of this team, how could you let him get away? Well, the questions have been answered, and then some.
John Carney to kick it off for San Diego. Corey Sawyer and David Dunn deep for the Bengals. The kick goes to Dunn. this time more success on the return as Dunn gets it back to the 23-yard line. Dwayne Gordon again downfield to make the stop, this time with help from David Hendricks for the Chargers. Eric Bieniemy, who is the number 3 tailback for the Bengals behind Carter and Hurst, another former San Diego Charger with an emotional homecoming today, was blocking on the play for the Bengals, and we'll see him from scrimmage a little bit later on. Career, almost all with San Diego.
Right, and he probably is not, it won't be as utilized as much as Terrell Fletcher in the San Diego offense, but he has been a guy that kind of helped them out quite a bit last year.
Chargers rotating defensive lineman in today's 90-plus degree heat. Perella in the game, replacing Reuben Davis as Blake and the Bengals go on first down. First deep ball of the day. Blake intended to Pickens, and Dwayne Harper almost had the interception at the Charger 35.
Well, Pickens, all he did was take a 9 route straight down the field. Harper with him most of the way. And he's just, all Jeff Blake does is his patented rainbow deep throw. He lays it up there and he lets his wide receivers make the play. That time, just a little long. Harper, I think, knowing the type of ball that Blake throws, gets a little bit of an advantage, gets out in front, and almost makes a play on the ball.
This time Davis comes back in at defensive tackle, and Sean Lee goes out for a rest. And Kijana Carter is caught by John Perella, the man who's rotating with Davis and Lee at tackle. Another outstanding run stopper.
Well, also, you're exactly right. When you talk about Reuben Davis and Sean Lee, you're talking about 300 plus. With Perella, yeah, he's a small guy. He's only 290. But he's got a little bit more quickness. You're seeing him rip through the gap as you did right there. Beautiful play on the ball.
Going past rookie guard Ken Blackman today. Blackman starting for the second consecutive week. A week ago, another rookie, Rod Jones, started with him in St. Louis, and they got a miserable baptism in front of an extremely noisy crowd in the Dome Stadium in St. Louis. Now 3rd down and 16. Ray Lee Johnson in the game to rush the passer for the Bengals. And Garrison Hurst and Eric Bieniemy come on at setbacks for Cincinnati. Blake looking long to the other side of the field and overthrown, intended for number 86, Darnay Scott. It was Terrence Shaw who was step for step in coverage with Darnay, and Junior Seau who was putting the pressure on Blake.
Pressure up front. He still had time to throw the ball. You know, we talk about the coverage, how they got the receivers covered, but the reality is coverage didn't matter. Both these balls overthrown a little bit. Blake just not on target at this point.
And Lee Johnson on for his 3rd first quarter punt. Darian Gordon backs up to his 35-yard line and takes it. Good field position for the Chargers as Gordon goes down at the 38. 46-yard punt with a 4-yard return. San Diego in business at its 38-yard line with 1:13 still to go in the first quarter. The Chargers leading 7-0. Gerald Dixon, number 51, was downfield to make the tackle for Cincinnati, along with Steve Tovar, the starting middle linebacker, who also puts in some special teams work.
Well, it looks like Glenn Young pulled a hammy or something, just going down to cover, and in mid-stride kind of collapse, which a lot of times will indicate a hamstring going, but you see him working on it in the middle of the field right now.
An eligible receiver on the kicking team, down prior to the kick, number 58, penalized 5 yards, repeat the down, 4th down.
Penalty against Tovar for over-aggressive coverage, downfield too fast. Meanwhile, Glenn Young is still on the field and being looked at by San Diego trainers. Young dropped a first quarter interception opportunity a week ago against the Seahawks, vilified himself for it, and then came back and picked one off in the 4th quarter to even it up.
But you see him running down right there, right in the middle of the screen, just goes down and mid-stride, which a lot of times you would think it's a hamstring, just kind of blows out just out of sometimes, but when they looked at him, it looked like they might have been going at the ankle too.
Grass field, no contact. You know,
could have stepped in a little hole, a little rut, and got a little twist on the ankle. But more than likely, when you see a guy just totally collapse like he's been, like a sniper got him, it's a hamstring.
Of course, you talked about the dirt of the infield, and you have the San Diego Padres threatening now to extend the baseball season about 2 or 3 weeks beyond where it would normally end in this city.
And I'll tell you what, it really is an ugly thing, because the cleats You just can't get them in. You just can't get them dug into the dirt, especially in a hot day like this. The sun's out. It's been baked really hard. That's why you've got to try to do something that's going to get you to bounce it outside onto the grass or the short pass game.
And then when you arrive on the grass from the dirt or vice versa, there is that little change in purchase which can throw you off just a tiny bit when you're at full speed.
Now, I didn't run fast enough to have it affect me, but some people it does.
I was talking about full speed. Lee Johnson again. Gordon watches this one as it rolls along the sideline, curls back toward the inbounds, and goes to the 34-yard line. So, despite the penalty, because of the 57-yard punt from Johnson, the Bengals get just a little bit better deal out of it the second time around, and San Diego will start at its 34 instead of the 38.
Well, San Diego, beautiful drive last time, and it's just kind of a carryover from last week. They're doing the same things with the running backs they did last week against Seattle. Stan Humphries,
5 of 8, 72 yards.
Exactly. When he's on, things are going right. The offensive line has given him plenty of time to get the ball out to the receivers.
Terrell Fletcher in the game at setback for the Chargers on first down. Humphries has Fletcher in the flat and throws to him after looking downfield, and Fletcher with a sidestep gains about 8 yards. Should have been no gain.
Oh man, he is shifty, is he? He gets that little ball, and they reacted quickly out there. They saw him drifting out into the flat. They know they like to throw it to him. But the problem is, once he gets the ball, you don't know what's going to happen. Watch it. Right here, he's just going to get the ball. You got him pinned. You got to use the sideline. Ashley Ambrose had an opportunity to pin him against the sideline, make the hit or drive him out of bounds. Tried to play him straight up and got burned.
Fletcher leaves. Aaron Hayden in the game on second down, 2 yards to go. Football at the 43. The give is to Hayden. He sidesteps the first tackler and gets the first down.
Well, good continued running by Aaron on that one. He got kind of like stopped in the backfield, got his acceleration going. One of the things you're seeing with the San Diego offensive line as they lead their blocks for these guys is they're sustaining their blocks. They're staying on these guys. They're not hitting them and letting them go. That's why they can't get a grab on the running backs.
And on that play, the first quarter clock expires. So, 1 quarter in the books in San Diego. Chargers lead 7-0 over the Bengals. The NFL on NBC returns after this. Here in San Diego, Jim Lampley and Bob Golick behaving as badly as we possibly can under the circumstances. First down and 10 for San Diego. Football at the 43 after Aaron Hayden's 5-yard run. Here, a completion to Terrell Fletcher. And the Bengals treat Fletcher with extreme care along the sideline, holding him to a 6-yard gain.
You're noticing that, aren't you? They're giving him a little bit more room. They're saying, hey, you might be able to make that play, make that catch, but we're going to pin you this time. We're not going to let you sidestep us and make us look stupid on the sideline.
This time, Ashley Ambrose making sure. Hayden in the game at tailback on second down. Call it a gain of 5 on first down. 5 yards still to go for the first. Football at the 48. No man in motion this time for the Chargers. Now here he comes, Andre Coleman. And Humphrey says, no, go back the other way, Andre, because I want you to lead this blocking in front of Aaron Hayden so that Hayden can gain 5 and get close to the first down marker. Kakuzo with the pulling block. Tim Johnson with the stop for the Bengals.
Yeah, you're right. Kakuzo, what a great block. You're going to see him right here. He's going to pull around on the play. Watch, he's going to pull. Watch the block on the linebacker as he gives that lane, opens it right up for Aaron Hayden. You draw that up in the playbook. A lot of times it doesn't work. Joe did a wonderful job on it that time.
How good are the Chargers? Coleman goes in motion the wrong way, and they still get the first down because Humphries keeps it together. Hayden on first down with the football, this time met and dropped. And the Bengals showing a little pride there as Kimo van Oelhoffen and Steve Tovar combined to tackle Hayden for no gain.
Well, the difference here is Kimo van Oelhoffen is a little bit more, well, he's built like me. He's a little closer to the ground. They pulled, they tried to block him low, and, it just didn't do any good. He held his ground and made the play.
To the degree that anyone who's 6'4" and 300 pounds is close to the ground. Tony Martin in the football game for San Diego. Papuno goes in motion. Humphries looks down the sideline and completes it to Coleman. And I'll tell you, for a guy who didn't have a lot of wide receiver experience coming into the season, Andre Coleman, he's showing his stuff early.
Exactly. When you talked Andre Coleman, we talked about a return man. Now he really is bringing himself forward as a wide receiver. Watch him throw down the right sideline here, and I don't know if Ashley Ambrose has just been shell-shocked. Obviously, Coleman is a threat speed-wise. You see he really drove Ashley Ambrose deep down the field. A nice play in the sidelines to the point where the only thing that Ambrose could do was complain about whether his feet were in or not.
3 wide receivers here. They give to Coleman on the little flip, and Coleman trying to follow a downfield block by Tony Martin has a gain of about 4 before Jimmy Spencer makes the stop. The Chargers traded next year's #1 on draft day to get hold of a #2 pick and pick off Brian Still from Virginia Tech. But Still, bothered by injuries in preseason, hasn't made a dent, and the 2 receivers who've moved up to fill the void are Andre Coleman and another rookie, Charlie Jones.
Right, you're exactly right. Charlie Jones, and well, you don't want to call him a surprise, but he's certainly contributing a lot more than I think that he would when he first came in.
Flags are down as the Chargers go on 2nd down 6 from the 27-yard line. Hantack and crew will announce the penalty.
Prior to the snap, number 88 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Rare offensive mistake for the Chargers as Deems May costs them 5 offside. Coleman, just to complete that part of the story, 4 catches already for 61 yards.
Hey, when you got a good thing going, you stick with it. Although that time, I don't care how quick you are, how many moves you have, when it's you against 5 defenders, you got problems. And with the report we have is Achilles.
Glenn Young.
For Glenn Young, as we saw him go down untouched on the punt coverage, that Achilles, like a hamstring, can snap at any time.
Junior Seau's understudy at 3 linebacker for the Chargers has been getting more and more work. Tony Martin getting the work here. Completion again from Humphries. 13-yard gain inside the Bengal 20. And right now, the Chargers are conducting another offensive clinic at the expense of Ashley Ambrose.
And who did David Shula talk about in the secondary at length yesterday? Ashley Ambrose, at how well he played. And here the receivers are just picking on him. Beautiful routes, just getting enough separation. Ambrose, I think, is kind of intimidated by the potential speed of these receivers.
Ambrose, the former high draft choice of the Colts, free agent who came over in the offseason. Here the flip is to Martin, trying to sneak inside of the slot man, and well covered by Jimmy Spencer of the Bengals.
Jimmy Spencer as the guy that they had starting out at right corner. You know, there's some good players out there. You have also playing Corey Sawyer, Rod Jones, who they had released and then brought back about 10 days later. So definitely some depth. Obviously trying to maybe leave Ashley Ambrose alone a little bit, go pick on the other side.
Well, a year ago, the pass defense for the Bengals was historically bad, one of the worst in the history of the league. So they went out and got 3 secondary free agents, and Spencer was one of on 2nd down 12. Humphries throw to Shannon Mitchell. Mitchell's been doing some hard work blocking. This time he gets a close-up look at Steve Tovar.
Well, he made some nice catches like we mentioned before last week, but Tovar he is probably one of the more athletic inside linebackers, middle linebackers that you're going to get. Not only does he have the power to make hits like that and stuff the run on the inside, he roams the field literally from sideline to sideline.
So a chance now for the Bengals to stop the drive. 3rd down 12 from the 21. 3 wideouts. Humphries in the end zone. Tony Martin, touchdown. 21-yard TD. Perfect throw, perfect pattern executed by Martin to beat double coverage.
You're exactly right, double coverage, and Tony Martin, the lone remaining wide receiver from that 3-headed monster that they had with Sean Jefferson, Mark Say, and Tony Martin. Tony Martin, obviously, the great choice is the one to keep around. Double coverage, gets enough separation where Stan Humphries, and we're putting a lot on Tony Martin, and yes, it was a great catch, but what a beautiful throw by Stan Humphries.
And another efficiently orchestrated drive by Humphries and the Chargers. A chance for Carney to put them up 14-0. 10 minutes, 52 seconds left before halftime. And once again, San Diego keeps the football for an appreciable period of time. goes 71 yards in 11 plays. Pays it off on the 21-yard touchdown throw from Humphries to Tony Martin. It's 14-zip. Temperature on the field right around 100 degrees. Already the Bengals defenders have spent more than their share of time out on the turf in the first half. And San Diego has ground out a 14-0 lead over Cincinnati with 10:52 still left before halftime. Harney puts the foot to the ball. This time it goes not to Dunn but to Sawyer. Sawyer's first kickoff return of the day goes to the 20 and no farther. Number 38, Dave Hendricks, downfield to lead the charge, the free agent out of Georgia Tech. Coming up big on special teams for a second week in a row, and there's Tony Martin. 90 catches a year ago and off to a terrific start this year.
Just wonderful. Look at him. And there's a whole different look between what we saw with the defensive front of the Cincinnati Bengals in those misting machines on the sidelines and Tony Martin. His head's up. The defensive linemen's heads are down. They're just wearing that defense down.
Trainer taking Martin's pulse to find out if he was unconscious when he beat double coverage in the end zone.
He's in his target heart rate for aerobic training.
Jeff Blake has missed his last 7 passes, so here they go to the reverse and get the football into the hands of number 86, Darnay Scott. A flag down deep in the backfield as Scott gets out to about the 28.
Well, that deep where a lot of the blocks were made.
No foul on the play.
Where a lot of the blocks were made deep in that kind of crossing of people, there's got to be an illegal block back there. Well, looks like they picked the flag up, actually.
Yep. Second week in a row this happens in San Diego. Flag goes down, no penalty. Last week it drove Bobby Ross to distraction when a penalty flag was picked up off the field on Rick Meyer's touchdown run. No matter, they won the game anyway.
Wow.
Here on second down, the give is to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst gets his first carry of the day into the arms of reserve defensive end Ray Lee Johnson for no gain or perhaps a loss of a yard.
Well, one of the things that we watched last week as we watched the Bengals up against St. Louis, that left tackle, Melvin Tootin, had some problems against both the run game and protection. Right now they've got Tootin at tackle, they've got Brumfield at guard, and they're just being kind of dominated at the line of scrimmage.
They're laboring out there on the line of scrimmage. Third down 3. Blake throws in front of Carl Pickens. That's 8 straight incompletions for an ice-cold Jeff Blake. Charger defenders get a hand from their crowd. Dwayne Harper there with the coverage on Pickens.
And therein lies the difference. The long ball's not working. He's off by 3, 4, 5 yards when he throws to Pickens or Scott long. The short ball is either too far to the right, too far to the left, or down in the dirt. He's not on.
Heavy work day for Lee Johnson, on for his 4th punt already. Darian Gordon deep to receive for San Diego, waiting at his 29-yard line. Gordon, the former number 1 draft choice out of Stanford. Flag down as Gordon backs up to take it as his 20. Across the 40. Across the 45. Out to the 47-yard line. A 27-yard return by Darian Gordon of the 51-yard punt by Lee Johnson. Eric Bieniemy was the man who finally made the stop, and the holding call against Cincinnati may be declined by the Chargers.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yep, there you go. Bobby Ross signaling, don't even think about it.
Never want to leap to any conclusions too fast. 9:08 to go before the half. The NFL on NBC returns after this. In preseason for the Cincinnati Bengals, Jeff Blake completed nearly 70% of his passes. Today, he's 2 of 12. As the Bengals have fallen behind 14-0 against the so far dominant San Diego Chargers. Aaron Hayden getting 3 yards on first down there for San Diego, and by contrast to Blake, Stan Humphries has been near immaculate.
Amazing. 12 for 16, as you see right there. His wide receivers making the catches, but the reality is that the throws have been right on. They've been covered pretty well, and Stan has just laid the ball exactly where it needed to be caught.
If this is your first view of the Chargers this year, the number 22 on the helmet commemorates the life of running back Rodney Culver, killed in the Value Jet air crash in May. Humphries' pass completes to Aaron Hayden, and Hayden has another San Diego first down into Bengal territory at the 41-yard line. 10-yard pickup for the Chargers.
And you can tell when things are going good for a team. Not only do you see nice plays like that by Aaron Hayden, but you also see offensive linemen running 10, 15 yards downfield to make plays. You watch at the end here, you're going to, after Aaron Hayden makes the run, look at, you've got Derek Brills, you've got a bunch of the offensive linemen down there to help out. Joe Kokozo down there to take shots at some of the smaller defensive backs.
Number 65, Troy Sienkiewicz, the reserve offensive tackle, was downfield blocking. Here, Hayden runs behind Eric Moten and Courtney Hall and has a gain of a couple before Artie Smith makes the stop for the Bengals.
You know what? We talked to Dan Wilkinson yesterday, and one of the things that he had mentioned was that they felt that when the offensive line or when the offense was struggling, they had to spend too much time on the field. They didn't want it to happen today because they knew it was going to be warm for one, and they also knew that this team could get some drives going.
First overall pick in the draft back in 1994, coming into his own in preseason this year. Humphries on second down, throws to Tony Martin, and Martin has been so far an insoluble problem for the Bengals. Jimmy Spencer makes the stop, but Humphries delivering the football right to Martin underneath the coverage.
What a great job of coming back for the ball. Watch him drive him off. He's got Jimmy Spencer working down the sidelines, driving it hard, and then just coming back. Look at that. Didn't come back far, just enough to keep the separation and go up for the perfect throw.
That's what happens when a quarterback and the receiver know each other so well.
Exactly. The timing on the throw can be perfect. Stan will know where he will be when he makes the break.
Martin 6 catches for 59 yards and the touchdown. Now the screen to Terrell Fletcher. Fletcher having another big game for San Diego. After 7 carries for 49 yards a week ago, gets it down to the 15, and the penalty flag goes down after a 13-yard gain. Humphries to Terrell Fletcher.
Well, Terrell Fletcher, he was the guy that supposedly was going to come in and replace Ronnie Harmon. The reality is Terrell Fletcher does more than Ronnie Harmon. Terrell Fletcher can run out of the backfield.
Team number 89, continuation foul.
Shannon Mitchell trying to add one last downfield block.
First down.
Costs his team yardage.
Now, like I said, they get excited when things are going well. They're hustling downfield. They want to help out, make the extra blocks, take one more guy out, and it's a momentum thing. He won't get yelled at tomorrow in films. He won't get yelled at too bad.
Although that's an effort penalty,
because
right?
It's an effort penalty. He's out there, he's hustling, he's downfield trying to make a play. But he'll be told not to do it again.
So they'll move the football back to the 30-yard line, and it will be first down, 13 yards to go from there. Hayden in the game now at setback as the Chargers continue to rotate all 3 setbacks, and Humphries, I think, is going to take a timeout here. And after a long chat with Dick Hantak about his plan, should I take a timeout here, Dick? What do you think? I guess I'll go ahead and take one. 6:02 to go before the half. San Diego leads 14-0, and we'll be back. Six minutes left before halftime, and at this moment, the Bengals' imperative, Bob, is to stay in the game.
Yeah, they're trying to, and right now, all David Shula wants to do is trying to keep points off the board, get these guys into the locker room, let them relax, let them cool off at halftime. They already have Bo Orlando in the locker room getting hooked up to an IV. They're suffering from heat because they've been on the field so much. Chargers with 1st and 13 after a penalty. Good job by the Bengals against Aaron Hayden and the San Diego sweep. And a flag down again. I got an initial holding call, and now they're just getting careless. You know, before it was aggressive. We talked about Sienkiewicz. We talked about Shannon Mitchell going downfield, making the blocks.
Offense, number 65.
Yep, there's Sienkiewicz, reserve offensive tackle, getting a chance to play in place of Vaughn Parker on this drive. He's been blocking like a wild man, and here he draws the holding call. Yeah, he's just come off the ball, locking up, and you see his arm. Look at the arms are wrapped around the body. Now, that's not even close to being within the rules. That is something that... And that's the key for an offensive lineman, is just stay close to being within the rules,
Stay
right?
close. Yeah. Get the hands in front. Hey, they'll let you grab the jersey as long as it's on his chest. First and very long now. And Humphries' throw is over the head of Andre Coleman as Coleman filters through the secondary. Okay,
Show me a legal hold.
Here it is. Legal hold, they will grab, but as long as it's within the framework of the body.
Okay, this is legal.
That's right, this is legal. Anytime you go outside of the body and start doing this or under here, that's when you're going to get called. There
Flag
you
down.
go.
Right, okay.
Take that back. That's nasty.
Second down, 23 yards to go. Football at the 40. The fabulous Bobby G with the best demonstration ever of offensive holding.
I didn't hurt you, did I?
Humphreys going deep to Charlie Jones, and Jones couldn't get his catching hand up. He sort of defended himself from the ball with the left hand, but couldn't really make a play on it.
Believe it or not, it was the first ball that was off at least by a little bit by Stan Humphreys.
You think Troy Sienkiewicz was watching our demonstration of how to hold legally? Check this out, Bob.
Working up against Dan Wilkinson. Oh, here he comes, picking up the linebacker, McDonald.
Ricardo McDonald.
Oh, he tried to. He did put the hand on the side a little bit.
He got the front of the shirt, though.
Okay.
On third down, Humphreys throws in the flat. Incomplete, intended for Fletcher. Good pressure applied by the Bengals there. Corey Sawyer got a hand on the football and forced the incompletion. And so, for the first time, a Charger drive begun with efficiency, fizzles in scoring territory, and they'll wind up with a Darren Bennett punt from the Cincinnati 40.
Well, I will bet you that from now on, defensively, they come with more blitzing.
Bennett's first punt only went 66 yards. Here, the max is 40. So his average will drop. He's still learning the art of placement. Corey Sawyer calls a fair catch here, drops it, and gets on the football at the 7-yard line. So a nervous moment for the Bengals. Winds up in a 33-yard Bennett punt, possession at the 7. You're watching the NFL on NBC. Very hard for me to play off of the profiler promo, Bob. I do a lot better coming off of men behaving badly. It's going to be my theme for the season. Garrison Hurst in the game at tailback for the Bengals on first down inside the 10. Jeff Blake breaks the drought with his first completion in 9 attempts. It goes to Hurst, and Lou Bush made the stop for the Chargers. And you saw the Charger drive fizzle as the result of penalties. One of them against Troy Sienkiewicz for holding.
We tried to let him know how to block, but I think Bobby Ross also wanted to inform him that maybe he was doing it wrong.
Bobby with a cheerful greeting for Sienkiewicz.
And did you see Troy kind of threw the hands out going, what? Me?
Who, me? Second down 1 after the pickup of 9 on Blake's first completion in 9 throws. Scott goes in motion behind Blake to give to Hurst. Can he get outside? He does, just enough to pick up the first down. Outrunning Terrence Shaw to the corner, and Shaw eventually made the stop.
Well, outran him a little bit and then decided to knock him down as they both went out of bounds. But, this is where the question lies with this offense in Cincinnati. You have Jeff Blake, who you're kind of relying on. He's kind of cold as you see Kijana Carter sitting on the sidelines watching Garrison Hurst work. But they've never allowed the running backs to really get anything going. Kijana Carter started the game off pretty strongly. Got stopped in the middle a couple times, but was able to bounce it outside to get some yardage, but they never stayed with it. They got 7 points down, and all of a sudden it seemed like, you know what, we've got to get back. So they tried to go to Blake, and Blake just was not hitting.
Here's the measurement to see if, in fact, Hurst succeeded in getting the first down, and he's going to be about a half-yard short. So it'll be third down now and less than a yard. Still a small hurdle for the Bengals to get across. And quickly, we welcome the Blockbuster Video Blimp and its crew to today's telecast. Piloting the Blockbuster Blimp is Captain Chuck Smith from Stratford, Connecticut. A week ago, we had some beautiful aerial shots of San Diego, and it's an even more spectacular day today.
Man.
You looked at the sky, Bob?
No, I don't, Jim.
This is cosmic.
I just remembered something.
What's that? You live in the smog?
No, I've got 3 videos I forgot to take back. Oh, man.
Well, maybe that's why the blimp is here. Maybe they're here to reel you in, big man.
And a laser disc. Man, my extended viewing fees are going to be astronomical.
They might repeal your blue card. Third down and less than a yard for the Bengals. Long count. Blake giving to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst with second effort has the first down and more. Out near the 25-yard line, Kevin Ross making the stopping tackle for the Chargers.
Garrison Hurst seeing the hole, exploding through it, you know, maybe he's somebody with experience that sees that hole a little bit quicker. A lot of people thinking Kajana maybe isn't committing himself to these holes, isn't sure about his reads to this point. He feels he should be in there all the time. He feels that he did enough to prove himself. But unless you're on the field in regular season games, you have not proved anything to coaches.
And in film, Hurst will get to say, hey, I sidestepped Junior Seau, and then the coaches will say, yeah, but on the next play, you dropped the pass.
There you go.
And Kijana says, well, I didn't drop any last week. I had 5 catches.
Well, Garrison Hurst is a guy that they really did. When he was in Arizona, basically their guy out of the backfield was Larry Centers. You know, he was
about 1,000 catches a year.
Exactly. So Garrison wasn't called on to do that much catching. He says that he's kind of picking it up a little bit, but obviously not to the point of total success.
2nd and 10, and this is where it starts to get tough for Blake and the Bengals. Heavy pressure on Blake. The throw delivered just a little too quickly. Intended for Carl Pickens. Terrence Shaw was there with the coverage, and another look at the rush by the Charger Blue.
They are just collapsing. You see, Tootin right here has been having a lot of problems. Watch him. He gets phrased. Blake has to step up. Then you get the pressure from the inside with Sean Lee, with Chris Mims. The outside pressure is one thing. But if a quarterback can't step up away from that pressure to get the ball off because he's got a big old 320-pound defensive tackle in his face, he's not going to complete a pass.
3rd and 10 from the Bengal 24. Bieniemy in motion. Blake looks to Bieniemy, gets him the football, and the former Charger is close to a first down at the 33-yard line. Junior Seau was there along with Shaw to make the tackle.
Boy, they just gave him quite a bit of leeway there. Bieniemy wide open, sitting out as a safety valve. It's going to be 4th and short, and look at David Shula on the sideline saying, hey, we got to go.
What a challenge to his young offensive lineman if, in fact, he does take a crack at it on 4th and short. And this is something that you can safely do with all-pro offensive linemen up front. But when you've got a rookie guard, a tackle who's having difficulty, a journeyman center who's never started before, well, this is a moment of danger for the Bengals upcoming, if in fact this measurement proves them to be short. Bieniemy's effort left them about 1 foot short of the first down. They're still at their 33-yard line, and it looks as though Dave Shula wants to take a shot.
You know, at this point, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't agree with it at all.
You're down by 2 touchdowns. You've got an opportunity. You've got a great punter who can get the ball way downfield. And at this point, I don't think the Chargers would really make a big play at putting more points on the board. They would try and work a drive. I think they can stop them. This is not really a good call.
3:27 to go in the half. A dangerous gamble by Dave Shula, but they only need a foot. Maybe it'll build the confidence of the offensive line. No setback. Blake putting the ball up, and Pickens is prevented from making the play by Shaw, and they get the flag.
Oh, jeez.
Shaw's saying, no, it wasn't a catchable ball. But he definitely put his body between Pickens and the pass.
Without a doubt. I mean, Pickens, the ball was thrown so high and was going out of bounds. Pickens goes up, and I don't think Shaw even really saw where the ball was, just made a play into Carl Pickens' body.
There's another flag behind the line of scrimmage. Could be roughing the passer against Junior Seau. So now Hantak and crew will sort it out.
And of all plays to call, I mean, you're talking a foot. Granted, there's some big DTs up front that you've got to kind of plow your way through, but you just need a foot.
Well, when the setbacks disappeared behind Blake,
exactly,
you had to imagine Bengal fans' hearts stopping all over Ohio. Wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, either he's
pass
sneaking.
Interference. Defense number 35 is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 55, a blow to the head, 15 yards.
You were right, Junior Seau. And it's not so much as a leg hit as it is the blow to the head. This is the rule. They don't want these guys. If you can stop it right there.
Helmet to helmet.
Yep. Actually, his hands came down, and all he did was lay his hand down on the guy and Blake's helmet, and that's enough with the way the rules are configured right now to get the penalty.
So Junior didn't exactly take full advantage of the opportunity to level Blake, but just enough to draw the flag, and it gives the Bengals a first down out at the 48-yard line. So a big boon to Bengal field position there. And Blake has plenty of time to deliver underneath to the fullback, Jeff Cothran. Cothran's second catch of the season. Sayao makes the stop along with Govea. Flag down again. We suddenly have a penalty festival in San Diego.
And Sean Lee is protesting dramatically. And anytime somebody's that vehement and there's a flag, you know that it's more than likely going to be the holding call.
Remember, to avoid holding, you stay with the front of the shirt.
Number 72.
Right.
Grab and hold on.
Repeat the down. First down.
Okay, now, we talked a little bit about the penalty with making contact with the head. It involves any kind of contact with the quarterback's head, whether it be helmet to helmet. It doesn't matter if it's the top. It can be the crown. It can be the face mask. Or if you're coming to swat the ball down and just in your motion of your hand just makes contact with the guy's head, that will be a penalty. Any contact at all, whether it's violent or not.
I was worried about you there, Bob, because you didn't have your helmet on. First down and 20. The pass is complete to Pickens, and Pickens is run out of bounds by Rodney Harrison, but not before the pickup of about 12. It'll be second down 8 with the football now into San Diego territory.
And more importantly, they get it out of bounds also. Stopping the clock. They're starting to, and it's always a tough call when it's fourth and short, especially in that part of the field. Very dangerous call by Dave Shula. But the reality is, as you had mentioned going into the play, it could serve as kind of a catalyst if they have success.
Kijana Carter back on the field now, tailback, number 32. Second down 8 for the Bengals. And Blake again has time to deliver, and this time finds the tight end, Tony McGee, down the middle, and McGee is inside the Charger 30 to the 27-yard line. A pickup of 23 yards before Harper and Harrison made the stop.
Well, always been one of the big strengths of Tony McGee is his ability to find some open space. Right now he snuck behind the linebackers. He got in front of the safeties, pretty much sitting there wide open for Blake to throw the ball to him. And the key now is Blake is starting to get a little more accurate with his throws, which is just inevitability.
And the Bengals allow the 2-minute warning to arrive, saving all 3 of their timeouts. Chargers lead 14-0, and we'll be back. 2-minute warning being completed here at San Diego with the Chargers lead 14-0. Chargers put together 2 long drives for touchdowns. A run by Leonard Russell, a pass from Humphries to Tony Martin. This is the first legitimate scoring threat for Cincinnati. On first down and 10, Shula gets it, or check it, Blake gets it to Pickens, and Pickens goes into the end zone for a 27-yard Bengal TD.
Well, and it seems just like minutes ago, we talked about the decision to go for it on 4th and a foot. And because of the penalty, I guess that's why this man gets the big bucks. Watch this here. Carl Pickens just making the break inside. Terrence Shaw bites on it, leaves him go, lets him go, and figures the safety's going to be there to make the play. The safety, Kevin Ross, overcommitted to the outside a little bit, it looked like. Like he thought that maybe Pickens would take it down the sidelines, not able to react back enough in time to make the play.
Doug Pelfrey, one of the more accurate kickers in the league, pounds it through the middle. 9 plays, 93 yards. Bengals pay it off on a touchdown pass from Blake to Pickens and slice the lead to 14-7. Troy Sienkiewicz, second-year offensive tackle out of New Mexico State, D695. That means he was drafted in the 6th round of the 1995 draft, and we have adopted him today.
We have adopted him today. He is a guy that hustles. We see him running downfield. In this heat, an offensive lineman doing that kind of extra work, we are going to give him the airtime and the notoriety that he deserves.
He hustles, he blocks, he holds.
He holds.
He does some of the standard things for an offensive lineman in the NFL.
They all cheat.
Lee Johnson puts the foot to the football. Andre Coleman, who had 2 touchdown kickoff returns a year ago, watches it go into the end zone and just for good measure, bats it out beyond the end line. Let's pick up the Sienkiewicz saga.
Here's a guy, the ball's rolling out of the end zone, and he's still looking for somebody to hit. Look at him. And there's no way that Sam Shade is going to be involved in this at all. Troy Sienkiewicz just wanted a little physical contact.
Had it made in the shade, didn't he? Sienkiewicz stays in the game now and will operate from scrimmage in place of starting offensive tackle Vaughn Parker, number 70. 90-degree day in San Diego. Chargers rotating both the offensive and defensive linemen. Tony Birdie in the game on the left side, playing tackle in place of Harry Swain. Humphreys throws down the middle. Coleman's 5th catch of the game, and Andre is out near the 30 at the 29-yard line. Steve Tovar makes the stop for Cincinnati. Penalty flag down.
Steve Tovar trying to keep him down, to not allow him to get back to the line of scrimmage. New rules this year.
58, 5 yards, first down.
New rules this year dictate that you have to let your guy, you have to let him get up. You can't lay on him and not allow him to go. Look, you see Steve Tovar there. Now, Steve, those are the old rules. The old rules where you could just keep him down. And at 165 pounds for Coleman and 245 for Tovar, it just ain't fair.
Remember when Chuck Bednarik sat on top of Paul Hornung while the clock ran out in the 1960 NFL Championship game? Throw here, complete from Humphreys to Alfred Papunu. The first down had come after the penalty. Now Papunu gets it out to the 40-yard line and goes out of bounds. Coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you to our New York studio. Greg Gumbel and company will get you caught up on all the action from this second week of the NFL season. That's coming up at halftime. They're going to have a lot of fun in there. But they probably won't give you the demonstration of the head slap or the hold or some of the things that we've already shown you in our little football technique workshop.
You're exactly right. And as the day goes on, I'm sure there'll be more that we can demonstrate.
Humphreys throws complete to Charlie Jones. And it's a fair start for Jones off the line of scrimmage, and he gets it out to the 50-yard line for a first down, San Diego.
Boy, in this day and age, when you're looking for some bigger, more physical receivers, between Charlie Jones and Andre Coleman, you got a couple of little scat-back type of guys that are very quick.
No huddle. Humphreys looks to go to Charlie Jones again, and this time it is almost picked off by Ashley Ambrose, who got one last week and could have gotten a couple of more if he'd held on.
Very, very good break on the ball. Just didn't have the right angle. You're going to see him working out right out here in the corner. Now he sees Jones breaking. Look at the quickness, the reaction time. The time, they call it closing on the ball. When you see the guy where the receiver is breaking, you see the ball thrown, that time that you are able to make the break, change the direction, and get to where the ball is.
Humphreys under a little pressure, releases long. For a moment, he had Tony Martin free back there. Number 31, Greg Myers, the free safety, just a tiny bit late getting over to help out with Jimmy Spencer. That's what happened on the touchdown throw to Martin. This time, the Bengals escape.
Bringing a blitz, bringing the lineman down to the bottom. You're seeing also Ricardo McDonald coming in, and here you can see just the route run deep down the center to Humphrey. Just took a pretty good shot there at the end of the play. Watch him here take the shot. Woo! And
Ricardo McDonald.
He just laid that ball up. Yeah, blitz. He just laid that ball up, hoping that the receiver would make the catch.
Humphreys rolling a little bit, throws complete to Charlie Jones. And Jones is inside the 40 to the 38 with a flag down, out of bounds to stop the clock.
Corey Sawyer, if you see him walking, he's just like, what? I had him pretty close. And it looks like flags initially, the call looks like holding, defensive holding.
Illegal hands in
Cincinnati.
the face. Defense, number 67. Penalty is declined. First down.
So very efficient clock management here by Humphreys and company as the Chargers move it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line with 1:05 still on the clock. Terrell Fletcher in the game at setback now for the Chargers. 3 wide receivers, Coleman, Jones, and Martin on the field with Humphreys. Humphreys goes down as he releases, and it goes into the hands of the golden Tony Martin anyway. A 19-yard gain on a play on which Humphreys was dumped, saw the pass deflected, and saw unbelievable concentration by Martin.
You're exactly right. Concentration on Martin and also concentration on Stan Humphrey. Watch Martin here as he makes the break into the inside, covered very closely by Spencer. And right there, look at just finding the spot, and the throw by Stan Humphrey. It's just amazing that he could lay it out to that guy with what happens here. Watch the rush. It's becoming much more violent up front. The Cincinnati Bengals getting some pressure.
That was Ramondo Stallings who pounded Humphreys to the turf. And there was another Bengal who got his hand on the football. And still, the Chargers complete it for 19 yards. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 18. Chargers have used their second timeout, and now will have one remaining with 56 seconds still on the clock. Remember that John Carney kicked 5 field goals a week ago, including 2 of 50 yards or longer. Brian Still now on the field at wide receiver for the first time today for San Diego. Number 80 in the game. Papunu takes the pass underneath the coverage and goes out of bounds at about the 12.
And great play out there. They had Brian Roach out there, number 87, also working with Papunu. Roach makes the break on the inside. No, excuse me, it was Charlie Jones. He makes the break to the inside, kind of pulling the corner in for a second, clearing out that flat for Alfred Papunu.
Gain of 6, second down, 4 to go. Football at the 12. Humphries throws, and it's picked off by Ambrose. Tony Martin unaware of the location of the ball, and Ambrose able to get inside of Martin and take the pass out of the hands of Humphries. So miscommunication leads to the pick.
Well, we talked about it before, the relationship between Stan Humphries and Tony Martin, the timing on the throws, being able to throw when know where the guy's going to be. Well, sometimes that communication breaks down. And when it does, things like that happen. Martin not even knowing the ball was coming to him.
Second interception of the year for Ambrose. Huge play for the Bengals as it blunts a San Diego drive that could have put Cincinnati back down by 14 points going to halftime.
Any kind of momentum that they had gained from the touchdown and taking the game back 14-7 would have been destroyed had they been able to score on this drive.
Catherine and Kijana Carter are the setbacks behind Blake. 47 seconds remaining as the Bengals get ready to simply allow the clock to run out on the first half. San Diego with only one timeout. So Dave Shula, and we'll say wisely, is quite content to go to the locker room down only 14-7.
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. As you see Bobby Ross, and once again, he saw his game plan work pretty well in the first half. He's starting to see a little bit more of an aggressive Cincinnati Bengals defense. They're bringing more people. They're bringing Tovar, they're bringing McDonald. So they're putting a little more pressure on Stan Humphries, and it is working so far.
Certainly helped them to bring it into that drive, as eventually Humphries made the bad throw, and Ambrose came up with the interception, and now the clock will run out. It's 14-7. Favor of San Diego. Could have been a much bigger margin for the Chargers, but the Bengals showed some stomach in hanging in and staying within a TD of San Diego in this game. So now let's go to New York and the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Back in San Diego, the gutty Bengals have held the Chargers to a 14-7 halftime lead in a game in which San Diego had opportunities to put a bigger number on the board. The Chargers on pace to gain more than 500 yards in the game, and they'll have the football to begin the second half as Lee Johnson prepares to kick it away for the Bengals, and Andre Coleman, doubling as a kickoff returner to go with his regular wide receiver duties, waits at the 5-yard line, and Johnson says, aha, the 5, you should be standing back there under the goal post, Andre, because that's where I'm planning to kick the ball. Touch back, it'll come out to the 20. Bob Golick, let's take a look at the Coors halftime stats. Coors Light halftime
You're
stats.
exactly right. And you look at this, San Diego, their offense, 18 first downs to 7 for Cincinnati. The key here, 231 yards passing for Stan Humphries. Although you look at the defense for the Bengals, they are holding the San Diego running attack to 2.6 yards per carry, but the running attack at least is effective enough to open up the passing game for Stan Humphries and the Chargers.
Leonard Russell with a touchdown under his belt is at setback behind Humphries on first down from the 20-yard line. Russell will get the ball. San Diego going back to the running back by committee system, and Leonard goes for 8 out to the 28 before Bo Orlando, number 26, comes on to make the stop of the Bengals.
The problem is with the offensive line for the Chargers playing the way they are, they're sustaining their blocks. And when they stay into a defensive lineman's body, it's very difficult for that lineman to get total separation, so he'll just try and stick an arm out and try and grab the back as he goes by. With Leonard Russell, you got to bring 2 arms or you're standing there by yourself.
Or Leonard will ramble into your secondary and go beyond the 40 to about the 42-yard line for a 13-yard gain and a Charger first down. Incidentally, Those numbers you saw on Humphries, 21 of 31 for more than 200 yards, are for the first half alone today. And here's another look at Leonard Russell.
And just when we talk about Leonard Russell barreling through defensive players' arms, we see a finesse Leonard Russell with the spin moves as he kind of winds his way upfield.
And Alfred Papunu showing that you don't have to look sensational on the block as long as you keep your feet and sustain it down the field. Papunu doing just that again.
Beautiful.
To make room for Aaron Hayden to gain about 8 here. Steve Tovar with the tackle, but what a job of blocking in front of Hayden by Papunu and Eric Moten.
Exactly. I mean, in Papunu, and you see him in motion a lot of times before the play starts, and you'll see him. He is right over to the left side of your screen, locked up. If you can stop it right there, he's locked up right there with the linebacker long enough to give Aaron Hayden enough time to break and turn that corner.
Shannon Mitchell, number 89, also out in front of Hayden. Second down 2. Give is to Hayden, and Hayden falls forward for first down yardage into Cincinnati territory at about the 47-yard line.
Well, that was interesting. I don't think everybody had the snap count on that one. It looked like the whole right side of the Charger line forgot to move when the ball got snapped.
Well, if you're a little out of sync but don't go offside, sometimes it's deceptive.
Exactly. The defensive lineman line up in front of him just kind of stood there, weren't involved in a play, so it worked.
This play hasn't begun. We can tell because the blockers aren't moving. Don't worry about that running back. Andre Coleman and Tony Martin at wide receiver. Russell back at tailback. Humphries with a play fake and a deep shot down the sideline to Martin, and it's broken up. Jimmy Spencer was there, and Tony Martin was able to make a play to prevent Spencer from making the interception.
And Jimmy Spencer on a knee telling Martin, don't you come over here and do what you were doing to Ashley Ambrose. But watch, it was Spencer, very good coverage, gets between Martin and the ball, and Martin knows that Spencer has a good play on the ball. Martin, instead of making the play for the catch, makes the play to break up the interception. Good awareness by Tony Martin.
Martin goes to the sideline, replaced by Brian Still. Leonard Russell barges up the middle for another gain of 7 by the Chargers, who obviously took steps at halftime to rejuvenate the running game. Bracey Walker making the stop from strong safety.
See, now the difference is if you take a look at the defensive linemen's uniforms for the Bengals, they're filthy. That means that they are root hogging. They are doing whatever they can up there.
Look at Jim Johnson.
Exactly. These guys are down, and it has really become a game in the trenches for them. It's wearing them out. And hopefully that for them, that halftime maybe gave them a little rest.
3rd and 3, no setback behind Humphries. The throw underneath the third down back to Rel Fletcher. Fletcher has first down yardage into the Bengals secondary, but there's a flag down.
And they're mixing it up really nicely now between pounding Leonard Russell in there and then getting the ball off in the short throws, every once in a while dropping it long. A real good game plan at this point, one that's working very well.
Well, off what we've seen in 6 quarters this year, illegal use of hands defensively against the Bengals, Dave Shula looking on as his team tries to weather another San Diego offensive storm. And off what we've seen
hands,
in 6
defense
quarters
number
this
23,
year.
hands of the face. Penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
The Chargers are moving the football so well anyway. The Chargers, with Ralph Friedgen calling the plays at offensive coordinator, remain the absolute epitome of a professional football team.
Without a doubt. They have got their game plan so well meshed as they go with a 2 tight end set right now. A different look.
Humphries looking deep again. This time it's there, but Humphries overthrows Tony Martin by a stride.
Oh, man. A new formation, and Stan, you can see Stan Humphries there knows that he had that. Martin, watch, he will beat Jimmy Spencer just enough. And believe me, it doesn't look like he's got him by much, maybe 1.5 yards, but that is plenty of room for Stan Humphries to lay a ball in if he's on target.
And Humphries pointed out to me yesterday that because of the way the drainage works here in this stadium, the end zones drop off. The field drops off away from you, and he says that often leads to an overthrow. Russell with the football, and Russell finding his way forward on 2nd down 10, has a gain of at least 5 inside the Cincinnati 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down coming up, and Russell will leave and make room for Terrell Fletcher, number 41.
And this was the fear. And you look at this here. The rushing, Russell, obviously the workhorse, seeing more than just pounding away. He's starting to show some finesse, some back moves. Terrell Fletcher, a guy that has been used out of the backfield, as we said before, more than Ronnie Harmon ever was, but still not as big a part of the game as they were last week against the Seattle Seahawks.
3rd down 5, Chargers spread the field, Bengals blitz, Humphries throws it safely into the end zone above Tony Martin, and it was James Francis who was in on top of Humphries.
And they saw it work at the end of the first half. They knew that they had to start bringing. We saw them bring Tovar. We saw them bring Ricardo McDonald. This time they bring James Francis. They also brought Corey Sawyer. They figure if they're going to slow down Stan Humphries, if they're going to get his mind off of just throwing perfect passes, they're going to have to start hitting this guy.
David Benn to snap, one of the best in the league. Sean Salisbury to hold, new to the gig within the past 3 weeks, but had a perfect week last week when John Carney went 5 for 5. Carney tries to make it 6 out of 6 on the year from 47 yards and does so. 10 minutes, 39 seconds still to go in the 3rd period. Chargers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd period and go for a field goal. 17-7 San Diego. One of Southern California's hillside homes overlooking the stadium here in San Diego.
You think they have season tickets?
I don't think they need them.
Or really good binoculars?
Maybe they have binoculars, yeah. While you were away, Reuben Davis, number 93 of the Chargers, was helped off the field. Knee apparently hyperextended in the pileup while watching the Carney field goal. Now John Carney kicks it off from the 30-yard line and pounds it all the way to the Cincinnati goal line, where it's taken by Corey Sawyer. Sawyer's second kickoff return of the game is across the 30 and knocked out of bounds at about the 33 or 34-yard line by Andre Coleman. And it'll be Bengals' first possession of the second half from there. Big possession for Cincinnati because they're still in the game. Reuben Davis in the cool zone, but feeling the heat from his injured knee.
How do I follow that up?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Just jibber jabber a little.
You know, you hate to assign importance to individual drives, but the way that the Bengals started to perform at the end of the first half, their first opportunity here in the second, if they can try and continue, it's going to be important from a morale point of view to get this team on track.
Kijana Carter's first carry of the second half goes for naught. 6 carries for 14 yards in the first half. 14 carries for 14 yards last week. So far, he's got 21 carries this season for 28 yards. Marco Coleman made the stop for the Chargers. With Davis on the bench, Perella is in the game at defensive tackle, number 97. He went the wrong way, but then Kijana couldn't find a hole.
I mean, he had the hole. He tried to make the cut. His footing didn't catch, and he lost it. Had the footing stuck, he probably would have been able to pop through for a little bit of a gain.
Second down, 11 yards to go. Darnay Scott patrols the middle of the field. They go with the screen to Carter instead, and again, he goes down without contact. Terrence Shaw comes in to apply the clinching stop.
I got a feeling they're going to have to take a look at his cleats because, you know, this is one of his strong points, his ability to cut, his ability to change direction, and now we're seeing 2 plays in a row. Watch him here as he goes to make a cut. He just loses it right there. Cleats give out, don't catch in the grass, and down he goes once again.
These doggone natural grass fields. 3rd down, 11 yards to go. Football at the 32-yard line. Kijana in motion. Blake behind Cothran tries to deliver to a double-covered Darnay Scott. The throw is too high, but Harper had Scott blanketed along with Rodney Harrison, and Dave Shula says, no. Come on over and visit me here. Let's chat about that offensive possession.
I don't know what Jeff saw on that one. Jeff dropped back, and immediately he saw one receiver and one only, looked at no other and threw there.
Lee Johnson delivering the punt in a hurry. Darian Gordon takes it at his 25-yard line, and Gordon is going to be dragged down for no gain on the return. 43-yard punt by Lee Johnson. Sam Shade made the tackle downfield, and there's a flag.
He is counting players right now. I've got a feeling they may be calling 12 players in the field. Too many men.
Well, it was clear that the Bengals wanted to get the punt away in a hurry. That's what Shula meant when he was waving the team off. There's Joe Wessel, the special teams coach, coming off a rough week.
Coming off a very rough week. You know, they missed tackles, one of the big things that they felt was a problem. Missed tackles, mistakes, penalties, all those contributed to a bad week for them.
Fumbled away a kickoff last week, had a punt blocked, gave up a 40-yard return. So it was not a great week for the Cincinnati special teams, and Dave Shula said they were among the league's best a year ago.
12 men on the field for the receiving team. The penalty is declined. First down, San Diego.
So they forced the Chargers into the 12 men on the field situation. That's what Shula wanted with the hurried punt, but they declined the penalty. We'll be back.
Chuck Pfeiffer, special team coach. When, as a player, you are coached. As soon as they're calling you off the field, you hustle and get that next team on, caught with 12 men on the field.
On first down, San Diego's Stan Humphries goes to Tony Martin underneath the coverage, and Martin, off to a sensational 1996 start, has a first down for San Diego. Now let's take another look at what happened on the punt.
Yeah, you've got a whole group of players right here kind of groping around. You got a couple of guys right here trying to hustle off, and you'll see as we start to roll it, the ball is snapped right about now, and you've still got, this guy was out there, you had another guy down here that was still on. They had 12, 13, 14.
Obviously a Cincinnati plan, leading you to believe perhaps they saw on film that the Chargers were slow to leave the field after third down plays. On first down here, Russell falls forward, less than a yard gain. It'll be second down long for San Diego.
Well, I tell you what, they've been fighting long and hard today, and at the halftime stat, as we had said, Cincinnati's defense holding the San Diego rushing game to 2.6 yards per rush. Last week, they had a league-leading 2.9 yards a rush against the Rams, so they're still doing pretty good up front. It's just they haven't been able to stop Stan Humphries yet.
3 wide in the game on second down long for San Diego. Coleman, Jones, and Martin. Cincinnati once again gets to Humphries, and this time gains the sack. And Dan Wilkinson says, "Watch my dance."
He didn't get to finish it. Now he's trying to.
First sack of the day for Cincinnati.
Well, no sooner do I mention that they haven't been able to get to Stan, they get to Stan. You see a blitz down on this side, on the lower part of your screen.
Ricardo McDonald.
Exactly, coming up. Also, Rod Jones blitzing then from the backside with a couple of games being run between Javon Langford and also Dan Wilkinson.
And I think you got to credit the sack to Wilkinson. It'll be his second of the season. Humphries throws to Papuno underneath. Papuno needed about 7 more yards for the first down. If he could have eluded one more tackler, he might have gotten it. James Francis makes the stopping tackle for the Bengals, and that'll force a punt by Darren Bennett of the Chargers.
He'll make a tough catch. He will block people into the ground, but to have him make a couple of moves to pick up extra yardage, Papuno isn't that kind of guy.
Steve Tovar had 8 tackles in the first half for the Bengals, but now he's down.
Oh, he's just, this is a cramp. When you see him starting to bend the toes like that, trying to get the foot flex back, that's a cramp down in the calf area. And in this kind of heat, with the amount of time that this defense has spent on the field, it's just a matter of time before these guys went down. We told you in the first half, Bo Orlando had to go into the locker room to be hooked up to an IV to try and get more fluids back into his system.
Tovar's backup at middle linebacker is Tom Tumulty, a 6th-round draft choice rookie out of Pittsburgh. Gerald Dixon, outside linebacker from South Carolina, a free agent pickup from Baltimore in the offseason, may be the man to come in and spell Tovar if they go for more experience in the linebacking core. Andre Collins, inactive, unable to make the trip today. So the Bengals are here with 5 LBs, of whom one, Tumulty, was picked up mostly as a special teams player.
Mostly, especially now he's going to have to step up, at least for a play or two, and make an impact. And it really is going to kind of hurt him because Tovar, hey, he's been up in the line of scrimmage making some pretty good plays, not only in the run game, but also getting some pressure up inside.
There's Bo Orlando, who had an intravenous injection a little bit earlier to put fluids into his body. He was dehydrated in the first half, has come back to play in the second half. And heat, obviously a factor here. It didn't bother the Seahawks as badly a week ago, but the Bengals are having some difficulty.
Well, I'll tell you what, the worst time that the heat affects you, the flight back home. And this is a long flight for the Bengals. You'll be sitting in your seat, all nice and comfortable, trying to get ready for the flight home. Somewhere over Iowa, the cramps start to kick in. And after a day like this, it happens to a lot of guys, especially the big guys who maybe have lost more of the water weight, more fluid than some of the other guys.
So what's the preventive? Just drink a lot of water before you get on the plane?
Before you get on the plane, they'll try and get a lot of potassium in them. They have some supplements with more potassium, try and help prevent some of it, but a lot of it is just try and keep stretching the muscles, stay stretched while you're on the plane.
So that's called a banana flight, even though you are not flying to Central America. Darren Bennett inside his 30. This one is high and relatively short for Bennett. Corey Sawyer coming up to make a fair catch at the 18-yard line. 38-yard punt by Bennett, uncharacteristically short. Bengals will have it when we come back. Overhead shot of the stadium in San Diego. Chargers leading 17-7 midway through the third, and moments ago, Cincinnati middle linebacker Steve Tovar, heart of the run-stopping defense for the Bengals, left the field, perhaps headed to the locker room for fluids, as was the case with his teammate Bo Orlando in the first half.
Yeah, they've got to get it in. A lot of times when you're drinking it, it just doesn't absorb fast enough. But I'll tell you what, he looks good and dirty. He's having a good game.
The numbers on Jeff Blake as he begins this second Bengal possession of the second half. Kijana Carter out of the game as Garrison Hurst is in at tailback, and Hurst plows forward, breaks tackles, and has a gain of about 8 yards before Kevin Ross makes the stop for San Diego.
Well, they're looking for somebody to take control. Blake's been off, hasn't been able to take control, hasn't been able to be that's kind of the heart of that offensive attack. When you look at Kijana Carter, he's been slipping. They're looking for somebody just to take control and start to get some momentum going.
Their only touchdown today, a 27-yard throw from Blake to Carl Pickens in the closing minutes of the first half. Pickens with 27 touchdown catches in his last 27 games. Second down, 2 yards to go after the 8-yard pickup by Hurst on first down. Garrison with the football again and makes a nice cut across the 30 to the 32. Junior Seau makes the stop, but that's a confidence builder for the young Cincinnati offensive line as they get a rushing first down.
You're right, and it really was a beautiful play by Junior to come up and take on a lead blocker in an offensive line. It really stoned him pretty good. It gets in, makes the play, but obviously Garrison able to get the first down. Kijana Carter coming back out on the field.
Junior only with 2 tackles last week, but a sack, the only one of the game for San Diego, and he wreaked the usual havoc with Seattle's offense just by his unusual positioning on the field.
Reverse.
Pickens. Blake throws the block in front and gets it done on Lou Bush. And Rodney Harrison, who's a wild man at strong safety for the Chargers, knocks Pickens out of bounds.
Well, because Blake has been off, we haven't really heard much from Rodney Harrison. He hasn't been able to float around, but you'll see here as Pickens goes back for the reverse. Now watch, you're going to see Blake up in the upper left-hand side of your corner of your screen. He's going to turn right about now there, try and make the block.
He did it. Harrison pushes Pickens out of bounds. Bush wasn't in the play, so credit Blake with making the block.
Okay.
Come on, it was a quarterback block.
Okay,
they don't pancake guys. They're not trying for that, you know? Flags down as Blake gets away from pressure. And the play will be brought to a halt. It was the first time all day that Blake had stepped away from pressure and into scrambling position. Marco Coleman flushing Blake out of there, and the flag stops the play.
Yeah, he started to got a little jump on it, and they've got some motion on the offensive line. But, you know, that's one of the matchups we had to watch. As you see, number 61, Melvin Tootin, he had some problems last week in the run game and also in protection. And once again, he's up against Marco Coleman, who right there, mentally, you know you're going to have a long day. And physically, he knows that he's got to be really on his keyed up as tight as possible to try and react quickly to stop him from rushing.
Marco Coleman, the former Dolphins #1, brought in as a free agent to replace Leslie O'Neal. Blake throws complete to number 89 to rookie tight end Marco Battaglia. And Battaglia is wrapped up by free safety Kevin Ross after a pickup of about 8.
Well, Kevin Ross, nice play coming up and making a play on Battaglia. Battaglia, who they brought in, they know he can catch the ball. Right now, they feel that he has got to get some blocking skills. But for their purposes right now, he's giving them exactly what they need.
Nickel defense on the field for San Diego. 3rd down, 6 yards to go for a 1st down for Cincinnati. Ball at the 37-yard line. Good protection for Blake. Tries to get it deep down the sideline, but a little bit of a slow start on the ball by number 86, Darnay Scott. Eric Castle, the nickelback, was there to defend for San Diego. Tough day so far for Darnay Scott, who has not been able to bust loose in his homecoming.
He hasn't been able to bust loose. He's been having trouble separation from the defenders, and also Jeff Blake has been off on what is especially the long ball.
Lee Johnson having an excellent day kicking the football, 47.7-yard average. This one goes all the way into the end zone. 63-yard punt, no return. Chargers will have it at their own 20 when we come back. If you're somewhere in a driving rainstorm, or perhaps somewhere in chillier weather than you'd like to be experiencing, buzz on over to San Diego, because this is what we have here today. These pictures being brought to you by the Blockbuster Video Blimp, known to be one of the fastest blimps flying. It has been clocked, listen to this, Bob, it has been clocked at speeds exceeding 70 miles per hour. That's a lot faster than last week's blimp, which shall remain nameless here. Aaron Hayden on 1st down for the Chargers is wrapped up for about a loss of a yard by Bracy Walker and Gerald Dixon, as the Bengal defense was not fooled, and now Dixon limps off momentarily. Dixon in the game, partially because Steve Tovar is already out with
cramps. Yeah, the report came in from the locker room. Steve Tovar is experiencing cramps, not enough fluids, and as well as that Bengal defense is playing right now and attacking the San Diego offense, they're starting to suffer some attrition.
Humphries on 2nd down, rolls and looks for the apparently uncoverable Tony Martin, and Martin has, what is it, his 9th catch of the game, his 9th grab, out to the 30-yard line.
You know, he is so deceptive in his routes. You know, watch him. He'll just push off here. He has so much talent. What a great move there. First of all, off the line of scrimmage, right away the defender, Ashley Ambrose, is playing catch-up, and then the break back. Martin is in total control of that confrontation, and the only thing Ambrose can do is try and react and keep it from becoming a long gain.
Well, this field was once the stomping ground of Charlie Joyner, one of the great receiving technicians in the history of the league, and Martin reminds you of Charlie just a little bit. On 3rd down, Humphries is able to throw complete to Terrell Fletcher, another apparently uncoverable receiver, and he has the Charger 1st down out to the 35.
The versatility in that backfield is amazing. We're seeing the bruising running of Leonard Russell, plus he's starting to get a little fancy, and the Terrell Fletcher out of the backfield is just, none of the linebackers have been able to make any significant plays on him.
Gerald Dixon is not too slow out there at the corner, but Terrell Fletcher is having a heck of a start to the 1996 season. Now, Aaron Hayden is in the game at tailback for San Diego, and Humphries elects to throw again and delivers over the middle to number 89, Shannon Mitchell. Mitchell bobbles the football, but eventually holds on. No, it's not Shannon Mitchell, it's Walter Reeves, the 8-year veteran free agent out of Auburn, and there's a look at Tim Tumulty. We told you, picked up mostly for special teams work, but now in the game at middle linebacker replacing Tovar.
And like I said, big responsibility here. And you see right there the throw to Reeves right over the middle. Tumulty has to react and has to take away that center zone, not give him, hey, it's easy enough for Stan Humphries to throw out to the flats. You can't give him another empty zone to throw to.
Ryan Still, the rookie, on the field again. The give instead is to Aaron Hayden, and Hayden is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. It'll make it 3rd down, 7 yards to go for a Charger 1st down.
Much more controlled pursuit by the Cincinnati defense. Earlier in the game, we watched them kind of get on some of the wider plays, getting stretched out, then the backs were able to make a cut back up and find a good gap. Now the Bengals, as they get stretched out, as they pursue the play to the sideline, are more in control. They're maintaining their gap responsibilities, their position on the guy that's blocking them, so the running back doesn't have an open gap to find a hole through.
Tumulty goes off the field as the Bengals go to the nickel on 3rd and 6. Terrell Fletcher in motion. Humphries looks at him, now checks off, wants to go downfield, and is wrapped up and dropped by number 25, Rod Jones, the 11-year veteran corner out of Southern Methodist, who was cut before the season and then brought back a few days later.
Yeah, what a great story. He, well, for him, he was very, obviously a little upset when released, kind of surprised, a veteran with some veteran leadership, but they felt that the people they had brought in, the free agent, also some of the young guys that they had progressed past him.
This time it's reserve free safety Greg Myers, who is deep to receive the punt for the Bengals. Corey Sawyer came in, averaging 37 yards per punt return, but he's got a lot of duty going today as the nickelback. Oh! And so Myers has to make the tough catch and then accept the hit from Willie Clark after the 50-yard punt by Bennett. But Myers, for his part, holds on to the ball. So the Bengals will have it at their 11-yard line. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Fourth quarter begins amid another workmanlike professional effort by the San Diego Chargers. A 47-yard field goal in the third quarter by Carney goes with a 21-yard touchdown pass to Tony Martin in the second quarter, a 1-yard touchdown run by Leonard Russell in the first quarter. And the Chargers lead the Bengals 17-7 as Jeff Blake and Cincinnati begin the fourth quarter from their 11-yard line, and the pass is in and out of the hands of Darnay Scott, covered by Dwayne Harper on the play. And I said before, tough day for Darnay.
You know what? It doesn't matter who covered him. Dwayne Harper, obviously a great cornerback, but it wasn't on him. That was all on Darnay Scott. Watch the ball as it gets thrown. Beautiful throw right in to the chest, and unfortunately, even receivers who spend their entire career catching with their hands as they're supposed to, sometimes will try and catch it against their body if given the chance.
Kurt Govea just getting a fingertip on the ball, perhaps enough to disturb Darnay Scott's concentration. Second down 10 from the 11. Blake throws again, and this time Harper knocks it down. Dwayne Harper had 10 tackles, 2 passes knocked down last week, and having another big week this time.
And once again, watch Pickens. I mean, this is another ball, it tipped or not, it's still coming into him. And these guys, they make catches. They're top right-hand corner of your screen, right in the chest, and not able to take the grab, because I guess because it's tipped a little bit, but hey, they've made more difficult grabs than that.
There are the numbers on Blake. Not done justice entirely by his receivers. 9 of 25, 117, the 27-yard TD to Pickens. Cincinnati's only foray onto the scoreboard. On third down, he throws to Pickens, and Pickens is wrapped up, and let's just call that the Dwayne Harper series.
Without a doubt, he was all over every receiver, that time especially, man-to-man. There was no way they were going to pick up any yardage.
Ninth-year veteran out of South Carolina State, picked up as a free agent from the Seahawks in 1994. And Dwayne Harper has become a crowd favorite here in San Diego with super aggressive corner play.
And Carl Pickens isn't he's got some speed. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but man, Harper just chased him down.
Lee Johnson having a big day, needs another big punt and delivers it. Chasing Darian Gordon all the way back to the 31-yard line, but Gordon with room to return and open territory in front. He's got to beat Johnson, and he's brought down from behind by number 80 of the Bengals. That is David Dunn, the reserve wide receiver who made the touchdown saving tackle. A tremendous block by Dwayne Gordon sprang Darian Gordon for the long punt return.
Yep, the block you're going to see takes place right up. See if you can stop it right there. Good block, and now he's wide open. The kick was so long that, and so far, that the coverage team just got spread out all over the field, didn't maintain their lanes, didn't maintain where they were supposed to be, giving Gordon a beautiful opportunity to run down the field.
Lee Johnson able to do just enough to slow down Gordon and make it possible for Dunn to make the touchdown saving tackle. 61-yard punt, 59-yard return. Or check it, 59-yard punt, 61-yard return. On first down, the Chargers stick to the ground and take it back to the middle for a gain of about 3. It was Hayden with the football.
And look at the frustration. I mean, you had to feel, or Dave Shula had to feel, that they were starting to come along, that they were found a way to get into Stan Humphrey's face, how to shut down the run game, and to at least stop the onslaught. Offensively, they still had to come around. Blake's numbers not very good, but they felt that maybe they could get things going. This breaks their back.
On second down, Hayden gets it inside the 5 to about the 4. Bo Orlando and Ricardo McDonald there to make the stop for the Bengals. Bengals are still in the football game, particularly if they can hold the Chargers to a field goal here. So you've got a very big 3rd down and goal play coming up with the football at the 5.
You know, as a defensive player, when you've been playing as good as you have the end of the first half and through the third quarter, you start to believe in yourself. And when put in a situation like this, backed up against the goal line, you start to get excited, get some confidence. Watch these guys come off.
3rd and goal. Fletcher open, and Humphreys overthrew him at the back of the end zone, and Stan can't believe it. Well, we told you, John Carney coming on as the kicker, we told you the field drops off at the end zones here, and Humphreys said to me yesterday, I overthrow so many because I'm used to playing on level fields. I've done so all my life, and I never remember to take enough off the ball here.
Well, that one had to be a cliff, because that was an awful big overthrow.
Well, no, I think you just missed that.
Yeah, you just missed that one. But, you know, that is a very good point.
I'm gilding the lily a little bit here, right? Well, you know, I learned something, Bob. I was desperate to use it. 23-yard field goal attempt upcoming for Carney. He's 6 of 6 on the season. Make it 7 of 7. So with 13 minutes and 13 seconds to go, it's Chargers 20 and Bengals 7. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Darian Gordon had a 59-yard, no, check it, a 61-yard punt return to set up the field goal by John Carney, which has stretched San Diego's lead here to 20-7 over Cincinnati. Carney will put the foot to the ball again. 13 minutes, 13 seconds still to go. Plenty of chance for the Bengals to get back in and perhaps even win the football game if they can reverse the momentum. David Dunn takes the football out and is knocked down short of the 20-yard line at about the 18. Willie Clark downfield to make the stop. 20-7. We'll be right back. Bring it back to San Diego, where moments ago Darian Gordon of the Chargers was taken off of the field on a cart and perhaps headed for cramp treatment himself. Meanwhile, the Bengals have first down at their 19-yard line, trailing 20-7, and Jeff Blake goes to the air and has it picked off by Kurt Gouveia. Gouveia inside the 10, out of bounds at the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal for San Diego. They're going to mark it at the 3. 22-yard interception return for Gouveia. Bad throw by Blake.
Bad throw by Blake. His vision obscured. A very good push up front. Well, Reuben Davis and Sean Lee. Reuben Davis back in the game.
Yeah.
Watch the push up front. They get into push his offensive lineman right back into Blake's face, where he has to pull back on the throw. Doesn't have vision off to the right side and doesn't see Kurt Gouveia come in from the right side to grab that ball.
Garrison Hurst getting just enough of a piece of Gouveia to force him to stumble out of bounds. Gouveia's first pick as a Charger. Huge pickup in the offseason for Bobby Beathard, who had him, of course, at Washington with the Redskins for all those years. Gouveia, the 11th year veteran out of Brigham Young, coming from Philadelphia over to San Diego to help plug against the running game and leave Junior Seau free to do his Junior Seau thing. Now first and goal from the 3. They give us to Leonard Russell, and Russell pounds down to about the 1.
Now remember, I told you before, the defense for the Bengals starting to feel pretty good about themselves. They've been making some plays. They've been doing their job. Unfortunately, they've allowed too many points on the board already, but now they have got things refocused. They are stopping the San Diego offense. The problem is that when turnovers, run backs, or the interception like this keep happening, they lose, that wind goes out of the sails. They start to go, well, what does it matter? You know, at least subconsciously they start feeling that way.
Triple tight ends in front of the big running back, Russell. Russell trying to fight his way to the goal line. Bengals trying to keep him out of there. No touchdown signal yet. Looks like it's going to be 3rd down goal. A week ago, the Bengals hurt badly by a 40-yard punt return by Eddie Kennison of the Rams. Today, it's the 61-yard punt return by Darian Gordon of the Chargers, which produced the field goal, and now this interception.
And this comes down to pride. And look at the way these guys are playing, the way they're attacking. It's a pride thing for a defense. You almost have to divorce yourself from the offense. The team concept is gone now. You have to divorce yourself from the offense, say, it doesn't matter what they do. They can throw interceptions. We don't care. put us on the 2-yard line. We're going to work our butts off to stop them.
And 4 giant tight end blocker types on the field in front of Russell that time, helping Leonard to crack in for his second 1-yard touchdown run of the day.
And all the pride in the world, if you're on the field all the time,
in weather like this.
Yeah, in the weather like this, there's only so much you can do. Your heart and your mind can say, I want to go out there and stop these guys. We got to have the pride to stop these guys. But if you're exhausted, if you're cramping, if you're drained, if you feel like you're about to pass out, situations like that, the head's spinning a little bit, there's only so much you can do.
So Carney will come on to try to add the point after touchdown and make it 27-7. Kick is up and good. And now the Bengals need 3 touchdowns in the next 11 minutes, 51 seconds. Not an impossible task. We'll be back. Looking south from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, a view of downtown and Coronado Island and Point Loma and all those nice places you've heard about if you've never been out here to check out the San Diego Zoo, the Padres, the Chargers, and the many other wonderful attractions of this city. John Carney kicks the football off. David Dunn, 5 yards deep in his end zone, elects to bring it out. And oh boy, this is going to be a very tough moment when the films run tomorrow for David Dunn, right?
Exactly right. David Dunn, that is part of being a returner, decision making. I mean, it comes down to this. When you get the ball and you're a couple yards deep in the end zone, you've got to say to yourself, you've got to see the coverage coming down, you've got to see where your blockers are, and you've got to make a split-second decision. His little step there, his little pause, cost him probably 10 yards, 10, 12 yards.
Joe Wessel, the special teams coach, enjoyed a wonderful year last year when, as we told you, Dave Shula thought that the Bengals special teams were among the very best in the league. They're off to a horrendous start this year. Their mistakes contributed to 17 Rams points a week ago, and the number will be similar here today for the Chargers. Jeff Blake on first down throws out of the end zone, gets it to Carl Pickens, and the very competitive Pickens is out across the 15 to about the 18 before Terrence Shaw knocked him out of bounds.
Well, unfortunately, this is what they would have liked to have done in the first quarter. A great throw to Pickens. We've seen bad throws. We've seen balls bouncing off of chests. We've just seen an offense that isn't what you expect from this team. From Jeff Blake, from Darnay Scott, from Carl Pickens. Here, great throw laid right out there, away from the defender. Carl Pickens, nice grab, and gets the first down.
Pickens has had a couple of drops today. That was an excellent catch. 4 catches, 63 yards, and a TD. Whistle blows and play stops as the Bengals begin this first down effort. And Dick Hantak will check with his staff.
False start prior to the snap. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Melvin Tootin trying to get a good start against Marco Coleman there.
Well, he's a second-year man out of Syracuse, and he's up against last week. He's up against Leslie O'Neal. This week is up against Marco Coleman. He's up against some good speed rushers, and you'll see even some of the veteran guys. They try and take a little bit deeper alignment. You see him leaning a little bit, trying to get an advantage because these outside rushers are so fast and so quick off the ball.
Penalty moves the football back to the 13-yard line. Blake comes to the line of scrimmage, takes a look, turns to Hantak and says, let's have a timeout with 10 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the third quarter, and my team, the Bengals, trailing 27-7. And Hantak says, okay. John Carney, former Notre Dame kicker, already with 7 early season field goals for the San Diego Chargers. He'll be watching next Saturday when the Irish take on the Purdue Boilermakers. You're singing, aren't you, Bob?
The thunder from the sky. Yes.
Very nice. A kind of a hip-hop version of the Notre Dame victory march, huh?
It's not approved by the priests at the school.
From the 13-yard line on first down and 15, Blake gets away from pressure and flips it to number 89 or 29, the fullback Jeff Cothran. Gouveia makes the stop for San Diego just across the 15-yard line. Marco Coleman was in on top of Blake.
Exactly. Great pressure by Marco Coleman. Pushing up, got some separation, got a little wedge in there between Tootin and Scott Brumfield. Watch him here as he takes it down inside and just busts the seam between the two. And if not for a little bit of holding, he would have got a hold on him. But great persistence, keeping the pressure on Blake.
And eventually Coleman thinking, you know, I've chased Blake so long, I may as well deliver a blow on him as he releases this.
You want to do something.
Second down, 11. Blake's throw is complete, and a near decapitation of number 89 Marco Battaglia by number 37 Rodney Harrison on the 18-yard gain by the Bengals. And the field judge is saying to Harrison, let's not be quite so aggressive.
There have been some rule changes that will probably make this call be reviewed by some people in high places, because to take the shot, and Rodney Harrison, a great ball player, we called him a ball hawk the last couple of weeks, but to take the shots like that, we saw the field judge warning him that maybe he better stay low next time.
That can get you a message from one Gene Washington in the league office.
And actually an invoice, too.
Garrison Hurst on first down is hemmed in at the line of scrimmage. Marco Coleman having a big game from his defensive end position for the Chargers. They sent Leslie O'Neal away. O'Neal winding up with the big free agent contract with the Rams. Coleman, the coaches say, is quieter than O'Neal. Maybe not as spectacular, but will be effective.
Yeah, they look at him. He's obviously a very strong in the pass rush. He's got an ability to get upfield. And you were seeing him improve in the running game also.
He played for Bobby Ross at Georgia Tech, and he said that was one of the huge reasons why he wanted to come here when he left Miami. Garrison Hurst on the field at tailback, 6 carries for 18 yards. Hurst takes the flip from Blake, and he's dropped in the open field by Lou Bush and Kevin Ross. Good tackling by the Chargers today.
Good tackling by the Chargers, but good coverage on that one. Jeff Blake wanted Darnay Scott coming in from the right-hand side, but the coverage was too thick. He couldn't get the ball out there. He had to dump the ball off into safety valve for less yardage.
Darnay Scott, who had 6 catches and a touchdown a week ago, is catchless today on his return to the field where he was San Diego State's all-time leading pass yardage producer as a receiver here. Blake steps up into the middle and has plenty of room. Slides for the first down at the 47-yard line. 11-yard pickup for the Cincy QB.
It seems to me that either he called that as a quarterback draw in the huddle, or he made a decision pretty darn quick when he started to drop back. As he dropped back it started to drop back. The rush came pretty quickly. I think they had probably called that right out of the huddle.
Well, when you got 7.5 minutes to go, you're down 3 TDs, and your running game has never really gotten in gear all day, you can expect that the San Diego pass rushers are pinning their ears back and coming upfield. Blake finds his feet on the dirt infield and flips to Cothran. Junior Seau is there to wrap Cothran up, and Gouveia standing nearby. Seau's the one who has been singing the praises of Gouveia because he knows that given Gouveia's discipline, he, Seau, will have more freedom than ever.
Without a doubt. You know, you're talking about a defense where everybody has their responsibility. Everybody has their gaps, including Kurt Gouveia. And if everybody goes where they're supposed to, that means Junior has a little bit more freedom to do what he does best.
Second down 3, football at the 47 after the 7-yard pickup on the pass from Blake to Cochran. Good time for Blake here. Underthrows intended for David Dunn. Terrence Shaw was there with the coverage.
I don't know how you feel about this, but play action fakes at this point, Jim, don't seem to be as effective. When you need 3 touchdowns, there's about 6 to 7 minutes left in the game. I don't think they're buying the play action pass as much. Get Jeff Blake back, get him some vision to the receivers, and let him throw.
Third down 3. 6:34 to go. Football at the 47-yard line. And the give on the draw play to Eric Bieniemy, and the former Charger never really got his feet going, lost the football. Junior Seau with the fumble recovery by the Chargers. Chris Mims was the man who knocked the football loose.
Boy, did he slash through. Watch Chris Mims. You're going to see him there coming right up the middle right there, stripping the ball just as it was being handed off.
So another turnover by Cincinnati, and Junior says, catch one. Back in San Diego, and with 6:29 to go and his Chargers leading 27-7, Bobby Ross pulls starting quarterback Stan Humphries and brings on backup Sean Salisbury to give the football to Leonard Russell on first down. Flag falls. We'll have a penalty call.
Well, they know all they have to do is eat up some time now, and why not Leonard Russell?
Stan Humphries on the day, 27 of 41 in the air, 21 of 31 in the first half. 270 yards.
Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. First down.
Eric Moulton with the hold on that play. And there's a look at Humphries along the sideline with the Natchitoches grin. That's Natchitoches, Louisiana. 27 of 41, 275 yards, a touchdown in the first half to Tony Martin, and 1 interception.
I think he'll sleep well tonight.
You know, after last week, he was sort of in the middle of NFL quarterback statistics, but it's just a mark of the kind of QB Humphries is. Low mistake, game-winning type QB. Salisbury's first throw of the game is picked off by Ashley Ambrose, his second interception of the day on the pass intended for Charlie Jones.
Ashley Ambrose, 1 interception last week, 2 today. He's got himself a nice little streak going here. But Sean Salisbury, obviously, you know, he's coming in now. They want to get him some experience, some on-field experience. He's a little bit out of the rhythm. He doesn't have the rhythm of all the receivers at this point. He's been watching, but isn't into the same rhythm that Humphries had. So there you go. When you throw it at a guy like Ashley Ambrose, he's going to make a play, especially when he's been picked on all day. He's going to want to get somebody back.
And the Bengals, responding to the change in quarterbacks for the Chargers, follow suit as they bench Blake and bring on Eric Wilhelm. Eric Wilhelm, the 7-year veteran out of Oregon State, picked up as a free agent. He is, as you can see, a southpaw, and he has a very good hook slide under Junior Seau.
Well, they know that with 5 minutes left, you're 3 touchdowns down. What are you going to do? It's like you take a chance. You're not going to get, it's very difficult to get the 3 touchdowns. And maybe if you put in a fresh body, maybe if you put somebody else in, sometimes you do get that unexpected spark.
Jeff Blake, the 5-year veteran out of East Carolina, who has come into his own and today started his 27th consecutive game at quarterback for the Bengals. And John Perella steps through the line and begins pointing immediately.
We're taught that. Defensive linemen are taught that. You jump off sides. Don't sit there and look guilty. You point at somebody. Although he was not very convincing with his pointing.
In a moment, I'm going to read a promo here for some upcoming programming on NBC, Bob.
Something.
Defense, number 97, beyond the line of scrimmage, unabated towards the quarterback, 5 yards, still second down.
Would this be something we're going to watch tonight, Jim?
Tonight on Dateline. What really happened in the O.J. Simpson case? I'm reading this to you word for word. An inside expert reveals some startling secrets. Dateline Sunday tonight at 7:30 only on NBC.
I should be home.
Eventually, you will be home.
I'm going to tape it for you.
It'll be second down and a yard to go with the football at the 40. 5 minutes, 6 seconds remaining. Wilhelm gives to Garrison Hurst. And Hurst is stopped on a brilliant play by Terrence Shaw, the 2nd-year cornerback out of Stephen F. Austin. Darian Gordon left the game after that long punt return with a sprained shoulder. Gordon, the former #1 draft choice, would love to get his starting cornerback job back, but he can't do it as long as Shaw plays like this.
Great reaction. You know, he's playing up there and he feels the block coming by Winans. Great reaction. And that's what you get both out of Harper and Terrence Shaw. Their reaction, their ability to read, run and pass and get out there and get back to their support position on the outside. Very, very quick.
3rd down, 3 to go after the loss of 2. Wilhelm gets away and is going to have first down yardage and more as he scoots inside the Charger 30 to about the 25-yard line. Terrence Shaw, number 29, was the man who made the stop. Junior Seau was the man who leaped over the top of Eric Wilhelm.
Boy, he broke straight through, got the grasp of Wilhelm, showing some strength and being able to elude that, because usually Junior gets his mitts on you, he's pulling you down.
Wilhelm.
And Junior, look, see, he said, usually if I get my mitts on you, I'm pulling you down. Very surprised that he got away.
Let me tell you about Wilhelm's rushing stat here in a moment, Bob. You're going to love this. The fabulous Bobby G. Titus Winans in motion. The throw goes to David Dunn, and Dunn, trying to make up for his poor choice running a kickoff out of the end zone, gets a gain of about 7 before Dwayne Harper makes the stop. Wilhelm, applying for the starting tailback position for the Bengals, is now their leading rusher with 22 yards in the game. So toss Wilhelm's hat into the ring along with those of Hurst, Bieniemy, and Ki-Jana Carter, as the Bengals still try to figure out who should be the starting tailback.
Well, Ki-Jana very worried, they say, about the fact that Garrison Hurst was here, but neither one of them producing the yardage to frighten anybody at this point.
Media people from Cincinnati say that, not team people. They say that Ki-Jana's not bothered by the arrival of Hurst, but Hurst, getting considerable playing time here in the second half, makes that catch, is tackled by Seau.
Kevin Ross made a very good play on Hurst, almost able to knock the ball free, but Garrison Hurst, great concentration and strength to grab the ball and hold on to it.
Garrison Hurst limping away from this, and let's follow Junior for a while.
He drops off in the short zone there. See Kevin Ross making a nice play on Hurst, but Hurst, like I said, the strength in the hand, being able to lock the ball in and hold on and not let him pull that ball free.
It's 27-7, and Seau is playing as though the Chargers are down by a TD. And now Ki-Jana Carter will come back onto the field to try to improve those numbers as Garrison Hurst walks off, or limps off, or hobbles off. What do you like? You like hobbles?
Hobbles.
Okay. First down, 10-yard to go. Football at the 12. Ki-Jana in motion. Wilhelm throws, and number 82, Tony McGee, fights his way down to the goal line and gets credit for the TD. Rodney Harrison had McGee bound and circumscribed as he leaned toward the goal line, but Tony was able to fight the ball to the chalk for the TD.
Well, he hasn't gotten many balls today. I've got a lot of games where he's been a bigger part of it, but when he got it today, he's proven that he can pick up some yardage and here fight for the touchdown. You watch, he's just going to do this quick toss, and this is all just sheer guts on trying to get in. Because Rodney Harrison's a guy that's he'll drag you to the ground. He's not big, but he'll get you down.
He'll fight you. He's 201 pounds of muscle. Pelfrey knocks the extra point through the uprights, and it's a 6-play, 49-yard drive, keyed by the running of Wilhelm and the big play to Hurst before he was knocked out of the game. And now on the touchdown catch by McGee, it's 27-14. Another gorgeous view of San Diego on this Sunday afternoon. We'd like to thank the Blockbuster Video Blimp for providing NBC Sports with these beautiful aerial shots of today's game. And in this part of the country, San Diego County, particularly North San Diego County, there's no such thing as a bad aerial shot. They're all beautiful. There's the blimp. I'll bet you that it's going at a speed in excess of 70 miles per hour.
Easily.
Because it's capable of going that fast, you know?
The fastest blimp out there, right?
Bengals, having just treated themselves to a mop-up touchdown on a pass from Eric Wilhelm to Tony McGee, go for the onside kick. It does not travel 10 yards. I believe a Charger jersey got on top of the football. And so it will be, yes, it was Alfred Papunu. Great hands, number 86. There to grab the football, and that brings us to the 2-minute warning, with officially 1:58 left to play, and the Chargers leading 27-14. Bright skies over San Diego, but as we bring you back here, Ricardo McDonald of the Cincinnati Bengals is unhappy. Despite that tiny trace of a smile on his face, he's basically depressed, as is Jeff Blake, because for the second week in a row, the Bengals offense has experienced a rough day. The San Diego Chargers are headed toward a victory with a 27-14 lead. On first down from the 42-yard, or the 37-yard line of Cincinnati, after an interception, Aaron Hayden falls forward for about a yard before Javon Langford made the stop. But no, it was not an interception. It was a recovered fumble, wasn't it?
It was a recovered fumble, yeah, very good. You know, the frustrating thing is that you just have this, as a defensive player, and you saw them playing well, but and Dan Wilkinson talked to us yesterday about it. You go out there when the offense isn't getting the job done, where they're not getting any kind of...
Offense number 77, unnecessary roughness, and a continuing action foul. 15 yards, repeat the down, first down.
Quite unnecessary at this point.
But, you know, when the offense isn't getting any kind of momentum going, and they're not staying on the field, it puts the defense on the field longer and longer. It forces them into situations that they don't. I mean, they can't stay there the whole time. You almost have to, at that point, say, listen, doesn't matter what the offense does. We're on our own now. You have to become almost separate entities to exist. You can't let a failure on one side of the ball drag you down on the other side of the ball.
And Dan Wilkinson was showing us a trace of that yesterday, even before today's game.
He certainly was, and they started to show it by the end of the second quarter today.
Hayden on check down on first down after the penalty is allowed to ramble for about 10 yards, and there's Big Daddy, number 99, watching from the sideline as he gets a rest here in the closing minutes of what is almost certainly a lost cause. 27-14, Chargers leading. We have doubleheader NFL action next week here on NBC. Junior Seau and the same San Diego Chargers are traveling to Lambeau Field. The Chargers off to a 2-0 start if they hold up for victory today. Seau's been rambunctious as always, but Reggie White, Brett Favre, and the Green Bay Packers are waiting next week. Then in our second game, Jim Harbaugh and the Indianapolis Colts head south to face the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys, who were rejuvenated today as Troy Aikman threw 3 touchdown passes, one of them to Deion Sanders, in a shutout victory over the Giants. Those 2 games, along with many others, next week here on NBC.
Colts, Cowboys could have been the Super Bowl.
Almost,
let it be less for that one play, the drop ball in the end zone.
Yep, magical mystery tour for the Indianapolis Colts a year ago, and Harbaugh off to another great start this year. Second down, 11 yards to go. Hayden with the football for the Chargers. A host of Bengals meeting him at the left corner, and it'll be third down, and the clock will continue to run with now 1.5 minutes to go.
There's a little bit of shoving. Eric Moten once again in the middle of the pushing.
We'll be back. Worry not, the Bengals used their last time out to facilitate that brief commercial break, and therefore you have missed no action from San Diego as the Chargers prepare for third down 11. The football at the Bengal 38. 1:33 to go in the game. San Diego leading 27-14. Backup quarterback Sean Salisbury in the game for San Diego. Gives to Terrell Fletcher on third down. And Fletcher, behind Tony Birdie, picks his way back to the line of scrimmage and perhaps forward for a couple of more. It'll be fourth down, San Diego.
Fletcher still showing, you know, for a guy who's not that big, is showing some strength of being able to pull out of some of these tackles.
5'8", 196 yards, or 196 pounds, I should say. Someday he'll get 196 yards. Second-year running back out of Wisconsin, who was a second-round draft choice in 1995, and now looks like one of those bejeweled Bobby Beathard finds. And on fourth down, 9 to go, the Chargers are going to operate from scrimmage rather than to kick. They just want to keep the clock running at this point. And Leonard Russell embarrasses the Bengals by pounding forward inside the 30, perhaps for a first down. In fact, it's a 10-yard gain on the play, and it looks like it will be first down Chargers, and that's adding insult to injury if in fact he made it past the chain.
I think they're gonna have a measurement, but you know it really isn't not embarrassing him. I mean,
no, they weren't embarrassing them
exactly.
at all. It's just that the defenders didn't stop him.
Exactly. I mean, Leonard Russell is running the ball. His job is to get it and to run until they stop him. You know, he doesn't care that there's 45, 40 seconds left in the game, that they're up by you know how many points. All he knows is that I will take the ball and I will run until somebody tackles me. And I'm not going to go down easy because he has pride.
Look out! You're in the way of the chain.
Russell finding a home here in San Diego, as free agents often do under the wing of Bobby Beathard. First down, Chargers. I think even Bobby Ross is a tiny bit embarrassed by that one, Bob. Wasn't what he had in mind.
Well,
Ross handing the headset over to an assistant. and saying, okay, that was my last piece of organizational brilliance today. Let's get through these last 28 seconds on whatever genius you guys can muster.
All he's saying is, all I said was handoff. Just let him run the ball.
10-yard gain by Russell. Now Salisbury will take a knee, and the Bengals have no more timeouts. And so Salisbury politely tosses the ball to Dick Hantack and shakes his hand. And Dave Shula comes running across to get a handshake from Bobby Ross. A couple of classy head coaches there. Excellent guys. Jeff Blake, on a very rough day, shakes hands with Salisbury and looks around for Humphreys, not visible at the moment. Chargers are 2-0 after winning this one 27-14. One more aerial look at an emptying stadium in San Diego, where the Chargers, for the second consecutive week, have racked up what amounts to a relatively easy victory over a seemingly outmanned foe. San Diego physically handling Cincinnati en route to a 27-14 win. Fabulous, yeah. Bobby G.
Yeah, you know, and there's all this argument in Cincinnati over the running back situation. You know, I think they also have to look at the offensive line. If the holes aren't there, I don't care which guy you put there, you're not going to get any yardage. Plus, Jeff Blake, totally uncharacteristic game.
Well, so Cincinnati will hope to get well as they get ready to go home for the next 3 games. That gives the Bengals a chance to get their sea legs under them. As for the Chargers, they're playing great ball as they go to Green Bay.
Without a doubt. I mean, the run attack, not as good as last week, but still, they've got Stan Humphries to guide it all.
Once again, the final score, 27-14 San Diego. Coming up on many of these NBC stations, it's Dateline. Then it's must-see TV with Third Rock from the Sun and Boston Common in their new Sunday slots. That's tonight on NBC. For the fabulous Bobby G, Bob Golick, I'm Jim Lampley. This has been the NFL on NBC.